one. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town. You can tell we're more excited for this episode because Tucker also said the intro, and our audio is hopefully working when this episode comes out.
Should we have tested it beforehand?
We did test it beforehand. Tucker didn't because he doesn't know what's happening.
I got here 15 minutes ago, and it's mid.
He went to see a movie that he's not even reviewing, and then now he went to IHOP.
I went to see a weird, gross horror movie.
He saw the Cronenberg movie, but he doesn't like it, so he doesn't want to review it. Anyway,
I don't know. I could talk to you later. Anyway,
welcome back, everybody. We got a great show lined up for you guys. It is currently 12:16 in the AM. I usually am streaming right now, but today I'm not because we're doing this. We got more Justin Roiland news. It's not looking good.
Has this gotten worse?
It's not looking good for Justin right now. We got Shazam trailer. We got Invincible trailer. We got Oscars. We got Microsoft. We got Alec Baldwin. Max is leaving.
He's gonna definitely knock over one of the cameras by doing that bit.
All right, well, we are back. I hope you guys are excited. You get to see us. We have us again up there. Look, there I am eating a McChicken.
Look at this low-res video.
A McChicky sandwich right there.
Filled with garbage in the
the audio in that episode did not work.
No, sorry about that.
That's courtesy of Apple Magic.
I really hope Max doesn't come back.
Microphone.
I know when he does, he's gonna trample over literally.
I was talking yesterday about how lazy of a name Microsoft is. Yeah, because they make software for microchips.
Every company.
And they were like, well, what should we name our company? Well, we make software for microchips. Microsoft.
Well, most companies are just named after the guy who founded it.
Really? Who's IBM founded by?
I don't know.
Who's Apple founded by?
Tim Apple.
No.
Why is it called Apple?
Who's Disney founded by? What,
Walt
you're
Disney.
telling me there's a guy whose name is Disney out there?
Why? Apple was just the name of the first computer they made, right?
Yes.
And they were just like, that's the company also.
Well, then they made the Apple II, which was their first production.
That was the big one.
Computer, and their logo was Isaac Newton, sitting under an apple tree.
Oh, that's why it's called Apple.
That's why their original iPad prototype was called the Newton back in the 70s or 80s or whenever they made that concept.
As the Apple.
Yeah, it was the Apple. The Apple II is just as important as gravity, you guys.
Well,
those are equally important discoveries.
Isaac Newton didn't discover gravity. He was just the first guy to notice.
No, but he defined gravity.
Yeah. Everyone else was just too lazy to write that down.
Except somehow the ancient Egyptians who built mathematically perfect pyramids, I guess, didn't come up with a math formula for gravity.
How did people invent calculus?
Well, Isaac Newton did.
Okay, who invented algebra?
Probably the Greeks. I don't know.
Okay, how did they invent algebra, but none of them regarded to write down the fact that if you drop something, it falls down?
Because Pythagoras was a Greek dude, and that's Pythagorean theorem, so they at least did geometry. Algebra, I don't know if that. I think kind of everyone had.
So they were calculating architectural geometry, but no one dropped a pencil and went "Hey, why does that happen?"
Well, I don't think they had tools for measuring time super accurately at that point.
Do you need to measure time
in order to measure gravity? You do,
but I guess
because you have to be able to measure the amount of seconds it takes for it to fall.
But they had seconds.
Did they?
Yeah. There was a guy who went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's just a guy saying words, though. That's not a definite calculation of time.
They had the sundial. They could have figured it out.
The sundial moves barely at all. The sundial's the worst method of telling time ever.
That would be really funny if they did invent
Guys, I put a stick in the ground and the shadow goes around.
That would be really funny if they were the ones that did invent gravity, and instead of doing all of our gravity calculations in seconds, we used movements of the sun.
Okay, why do we need so many gears and fancy dials and things to replicate what a stick in the ground does?
Because the stick isn't going to continuously move.
Well, but the shadow does.
Yeah, but would you rather the clock be here, or you have to go outside and look at the sun?
No, but I'm saying, why did it take humanity why is it such a complicated thing? if all you needed before that was a stick.
Well, because the stick stopped being useful after it was nighttime.
Well, you don't need to know what time
After
it is
that,
at night. You go to sleep. Once you can't see the stick anymore, you go to bed.
What if it's the winter and the sun sets at like 6:30?
Then you go to bed early.
Everyone's going to bed at 6.
Yeah, that's what people did.
They gotta work in the fields.
Yeah, you wake up early. You go to bed when the sun goes down.
What are we talking about?
Time is this. You know what? If we've learned anything,
it's okay. Time is made up.
If we've learned anything from all this podcast, it's that time is the stupidest thing humanity's ever created.
And that was the lesson the whole time. That was always intentional from the very start.
Podcast is over now. We've completed it. Bye bye.
It took us 93 episodes in 2 years.
That's it. You guys got the conclusion. Anyway, moving on to our first topic of the day.
And now that that's over, now we're just
now
that
this bit about clocks is over. Justin Roiland fired from Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites, and stepped down as head of Squanch Games.
So this is a continued escalation of the allegations against him.
So for those of you who maybe didn't tune into last week's episode, Justin Roiland is currently facing charges for domestic assault and battery and false imprisonment via threats of like duress or a bunch of other things. He did some bads.
So the first thing that happened was on Tuesday, Adult Swim cut. This was literally their statement. Adult Swim has ended its association with Justin Roiland. Rick and Morty will continue. The crew is working very hard on a season 7.
So the voices for Rick and Morty, and I guess every other character, are being recast. Because for those of you who are unaware, every single character on the show, except for the celebrity like cameos, Beth, Jerry, and Summer, are all Justin Roiland.
Pretty much,
literally all of them.
Yeah. And they're all the 2 voices he does.
And they're all the squeaky high-pitched voice.
And the gruff down one.
Yeah, that's why every character on that show sounds like that, because that's the only 2 voices
How come he
does.
never does just his normal voice?
I don't know. It would be so easy.
He could add a third one to the mix.
He could add a third character to the repertoire. I think it's because he think his real voice is the Morty voice, and he's just hiding it.
But then if he's doing that, then he can do a third voice and just isn't.
Because on top of all this stuff, a bunch of DMs have leaked between him. This stuff is a little bit harder to confirm because it's a little bit like we can't really tell for sure. But there's a lot of it, so presumably some of them are probably real. But he has a bunch of leaked DMs with 14-year-old girls on Instagram where he's doing pretending to be Morty as a bit while he's flirting with them and asking him for feet pics and stuff. He's done some wacky weird things.
Okay. So obviously he co-created and executive produced and voiced on Rick and Morty. He co-created that show, of course, with Dan Harmon. So in 2018, Adult Swim put in a 70 episode order for the show, which they're not even halfway through.
Yeah, they're on episode 40 something?
They were finished season 3 something? And they just did 6, so they've done 30 of the 40.
Oof.
So they have to at least go through season 10. Roiland Dan Harmon will now be the sole showrunner. Roiland's roles will be recast.
Makes sense.
Roiland, I looked this up when this happened, but he hasn't written on the series since season 1. So don't expect that to change.
Oh, I didn't even know
the only
that.
noticeable change will be the voices not being the same.
Yeah, because I was going through the show a few months ago because the new season was coming out, and the way that the characters behave in season 1 is so completely different from the way that they behave in every season after that.
Yeah, so I don't even it says Dan Harmon's the showrunner, but I don't think he's technically the showrunner. I believe it's somebody else. I forget his name. It was the current showrunner or the head of the writers' room or whatever. I think he might be the head writer.
Yeah,
was a writer on Always Sunny.
Oh, that
that's
makes sense.
how I know him. But so that was the first thing to happen on Tuesday, and then I believe the next day on Wednesday. So I'm pulling all these articles up in real time.
Yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we do it here on the McDonCast.
Because I just got here, everybody. I literally pulled in about 10 minutes ago.
It's been 30 minutes
Like
now.
a diva, I showed up late.
That's a Rick and Morty reference for you guys. Actually, don't pour one out for our boy. Our boy doesn't deserve it.
No. So Hulu which airs Solar Opposites, which is the other show he co-created.
Which is also just Rick and Morty.
Pretty much. Again, also just does the same voices. And he is also a voice actor for Koala Man, another Hulu show.
I've never heard of that.
He was an executive producer on both, and he was a voice actor on both. He's been cut from both of those. All they said was, "We have ended our association with Justin Roiland."
Yeah,
that was the only statement they made.
It's really all you need to know.
So Koala Man was just came out as well. That started airing on January 9th. That hasn't even finished its first season.
Well, that's unfortunate for them.
Solar Opposites has had 3 seasons, and he's been fairly involved in that one. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's like his main show. That's the one that he does all the stuff for.
Okay. And he also resigned from Squash Games. That one is
which recently released High on Life.
Yeah.
For those of you who might not be aware.
And that one is interesting because that is one where he decided to step, and he wasn't.
Yeah,
fired.
that is the only one that we know of so far where he resigned. All the other ones was he was let go. Squash Games he left himself. So I don't know. I don't know if that has an
think. I'm not accusing.
Allegedly.
But why would you quit your only job if you didn't think you were going to go to jail?
It is a bit of a conundrum.
Unless there was just that much internal pressure from the company.
Yeah.
But I doubt Squanch Games is very big.
Also, they've had their own, like, issues with allegations and stuff already.
Like, he's the founder of the company. Like,
anyway.
I don't know.
That's all we know on the situation so far. I guess we might continue to follow the story if it stays interesting. If not, we'll just kind of forget about it.
So he's supposed to start his court hearing on April 27th, so there probably won't be anything else. There won't be any news regarding him until that point.
You know that clip of
but we might figure out who's voicing Rick and Morty.
You know that clip of that like court case that he like dubbed over that one time?
Oh, that yeah.
I hope he does that like in court for real.
Like he does like to the people in the room.
Yeah, like he does bits and voices like while he's on trial.
Might as well, because no one's ever going to hear from him again after
Might
this.
as well get your last few lines in while you can.
No. Now, okay, I have one question. Do you think they rehire him if he is not convicted? I think
this might be a Johnny Depp situation.
He has to be cleared of the charges.
Again, if it turns out that he's not guilty, I'm not saying this is a Johnny Depp situation. I'm saying if it turns out that the allegations were not true, and it turns out to be a Johnny Depp situation, then I think they probably just won't hire him.
Because I feel like that he would have to literally be like acquitted. If they come to an outside settlement, absolutely not. Because that means he just handed her a bunch of money and then she went away.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But
we'll see how this goes.
I highly doubt we ever hear from him again in any real capacity.
Yeah, he might go the way of what's another celebrity that happened to?
I don't know. Literally anyone who's been canceled. Louis C.K.?
Sure, Louis C.K.
Remember Louis C.K.?
Nope. All right, next topic.
All right, moving on.
We got a new trailer for Shazam and for Invincible. So let me pause
Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
And I will flip us over here.
This is coming out in March.
That is a month.
Yep. I knew that off the top of my head.
You knew that March was a month off the top of your head?
Yes, I did.
This
trailer, not very good.
So let's go through here piece by piece. We got, I believe, Olympus.
Is that what that is?
I think so. I mean, what else would this be?
Big mountain.
So, Olympus doesn't look like this in the DC universe. Just wanted to point that out. Like, we've seen it before in the Wonder Woman movie.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. In the flashback.
It was just a bunch of clouds.
No, she's, like, telling him the story, and, like, Ares, like, blows up the mountain.
I know, but it was just, like, shadows and clouds, just, like, floating.
He blew it up.
When?
When he shot it with lightning and it exploded.
I don't remember. That did not happen.
It's when Wonder Woman's mom is like, let me tell you the story of the gods.
Yeah, and
there was Ares and he was very mad and he blew up the village.
Sam, that was like a storybook thing, and they were like, no one had faces.
They all had faces.
And they was all moving in slow-mo, and it was all like in clouds.
But it wasn't obscured. Like, the Ares guys, like, they had their faces. They looked like they do. That's not my point. The point is, anyway, continuing. We have the Mount Olympus here. We have, I believe, Athena
on a horrible, horrible green screen,
standing on the same baseball field that Magneto picks up, probably.
Presumably of the Philadelphia Phillies, because this.
We got an ad for Toyota and Life Brand. Is this Athena or is this the other one? What's the other one?
Let me pull it.
Hippolyta, Hera. So one of the girl Greek gods.
They're new villains
They're new villains, but they're not new Greek
for
gods.
for Shazam because they didn't want to have to use his comic book ones.
And they also didn't want to have to stay true to their own lore, where all the gods are dead except
Calypso,
Okay, so she's not even a god; she's just like a witch.
daughter of Atlas.
Yeah, so
Calypso with a K.
yeah, but Calypso is just like a witch.
And then Helen Mirren is Hespera, the other one.
Calypso, I think, is the one that turns all the guys into pigs, right? On that island, and like,
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, yep, we got her. We got a tennis ball going underground, and she makes a tree. I think we've seen this
Big
before.
old tree, Sam.
We have
big old tree.
She hands the magic stick to Athena, so she's
got
the magic stick now.
Even though that was
pay attention to where the magic stick is. That's going to be important.
Even though that was snapped in half in the first movie, I guess it's just put back together.
They can get a new magic stick.
And
well, there were 7 wizards, right? Maybe this is a different stick.
yeah, but only Timon Hansu had the one stick.
I know, but the sticks of the other wizards presumably might be around
But
somewhere.
did they have sticks?
Yeah, remember in Black Adam, they all had sticks.
I don't remember.
They were different colors, but also his was red in Black Adam. So
No, it was blue.
No, not in Black Adam. It was red.
Was it? I don't know. I don't.
Me and Nick just recently.
Does anybody remember Black Adam?
Me and Nick watched it because I told Nick about all the like all the stuff that was going on with Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Whoa, that's so crazy! I want to see this like movie that's like ruining their whole brand." And I was like, "Okay, it's bad, but sure." And so we watched like the first like 40 minutes of it.
That movie is such a phenomenon to me, where it literally came out and nobody at all cared.
Yeah, it was like one of the most marketed movies I think I've ever seen.
It was everywhere.
Like The Rock was all over everywhere, being like, "Guys, this is gonna be the biggest
movie
movie ever."
Benches and school buses, and it aired ads on
like
television.
Super Pets
every
only
30
existed to market this movie.
It was literally, and the people who like The Rock were just like, eh. People who like comic book movies,
the DC hierarchy is about to change.
People who like comic book movies were just like, eh.
And people who like Fast and Furious were like, eh.
I would bring it up to people, and they were just like, I don't care. Like nobody at all cared.
Maybe it's because he's like not a real character. And
well,
okay, people don't go to and a lot of film critics have said this, but people don't go to superhero movies because of the actor. They go to it because of the character. And we see this over and over again. Spider-Man movies pretty much always get around the same kind of viewership, regardless of who Spider-Man is. Because they're not going to see Tom Holland. They're not going to see, Andrew Garfield. They're going to see Spider-Man.
Well, also, it just wasn't good.
And The Rock thought that he could take this character no one cared about, and since The Rock was that character, people would go see it. But no, that's not how superhero movies work. And so it didn't work. But that's not what we're here to talk about. It kind of is because this movie is directly related. So I guess it is kind of what we're here to talk about.
A Shazam and Black Adam movie came out within 6 months of each other, and they're not related at all.
They'll have a post-credit scene that'll tie them together.
Will it?
Yes.
But they cut stuff out of this one.
Doesn't matter.
That was supposed to be tied into other stuff.
Well, I don't know. Who cares?
I think Wonder Woman's they kept trying. Wonder Woman's in this.
Well, Wonder Woman would kind of have to.
Wonder Woman's in this, and they kept trying to find a way to cut her out, and they couldn't. So
just leave her in. What? Why would you do that?
Well, because they're trying to cut away like everything they're not going to use.
But Gal Gadot is hot though.
True, but you don't need to see this one movie where she'll be in it for 30 seconds.
But more people will go see it if she's.
No, they won't, because they won't put her in the marketing because it's supposed to be like a surprise.
Well, that's their fault for not understanding how marketing works. Anyways, let's move on from the magic stick. We got the tree still destroying stuff.
So this is the big
lot of
third
CGI
act.
cars flying around.
Explosion.
Crane is craning.
Why did my
more
computer
tree
just,
destroying. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on. Let me pause the recording.
It just turned itself off.
Okay, continuing. Yes,
So,
Shazam's right here. There he is.
most of this is stuff we saw in the first trailer. They're doing bits, and
There's our boy Zach.
Are you gonna resume it?
Zach is Zacking real hard. Look at how Zach
Look at that
is.
suit. That suit's so much better than.
So he's doing the same. Oh, okay. This one is a bit different. He gets kicked in that scene now. Okay. A lot of logos. We love logos. Oh,
There's
we got
a book, magic book.
We got the Black Adam book. Okay, we got Billy jumping off a building and he turns
flashing
into
back
Shazam.
to the last one. Like
He's
everybody's got superpowers now.
All the Shazam family. All of our we have one of each person represented.
So pause it. So in the last movie, one of the general like comments or arguments people made was that they did the Shazam family way too early. As
They
in
did do it way too early
in the first movie. Well, Sam, their way of getting around that in this one is they're just gonna depower everybody but Billy.
Well, that's really stupid.
Did you not? Did you see that? So
the Shazam family assembles, like, I'm guessing, like, right in the first, like, 15 minutes of the movie.
and then they'll be
and
like,
then they're
zap,
immediately
zap, zap, power's
depowered.
gone. Oh no.
Yeah, and then he's got to, like,
so much
save
budget
his family.
saved.
Kinda.
Got to nerf the hero. I mean, it's super.
I mean, okay, the Shazam costumes are probably the lowest budget costumes of any.
They're
like,
better
superhero
in this than they were in the last one.
A little bit. I mean, his muscle suit's
Because
not as big.
they haven't puffed the chest up nearly as much.
Yeah, it looked really kind of cartoony last time.
I don't mind that these are
And like the villains are wearing like D&D character cosplays.
I'm fine with the Shazam. They're like goofy and they cartoon.
Like they don't look Greek. They look like generic D&D fantasy characters.
What do you want them to look like?
Just I want to be able to look.
You want her to have like a big K on her forehead for Calypso?
No, but I want to be able to look at this character and be like, this is a distinct character that I can recognize.
Well, it's
like if I took her, and I took every character from the D&D movie that's coming out, and I put her in the same room, you wouldn't be able to tell which one is from the DC movie.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I want to.
That's just general.
But the last one also had that same problem. Like the villain was just a guy in a coat.
A guy in a suit. No, but he had that eye. He had the eye.
But at the very end of the movie. But if you took him and you put him in a James...
He was glowing the whole time.
If you took him and you put him in a James Bond movie, you wouldn't be able to tell me which one's from a DC movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just because laziness.
Yeah, they aren't making them very distinct.
Well, also, because if they... A lot of the actors don't want to have to wear the spandex, okay? They like this better.
Well, it doesn't even have to be spandex. Just make the armor look like Greek armor. Like, this just looks
you wouldn't
like
be able
nothing.
to tell if it was or it wasn't.
I definitely would, because
the general public wouldn't. They would just be like, it's armor.
Or make her wear, like, the Greek, like, robes or something. I don't know. Not that.
I think I'd be walking.
Like, Calypso, the woman who lives on an island and turns men into pigs, I don't think she's wearing battle armor.
Well, it's a different kind.
Okay, anyway.
This one wants to do big
She's got a magic stick. We're doing this, making an apple gold. Okay,
Shazam.
That's cool. They say Shazam. She's evil. They're flying.
Look at those effects.
He says, I'm a hero man. Oh, no, they're zapping
they're
us.
unpowering
no.
everybody.
And then Shazam Wizard's like,
Yeah, again, this trailer,
there's a wizard.
not great.
There's a dragon.
It's just a lot of fast cuts and, like, things hitting each other.
Dragon right there.
And, like, just cutting around a million jokes.
And again, the dragon. What... That's not that's not DC thing. That's like a different thing.
Again, they made up these villains for this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of lame. Anyway, continuing.
Because they didn't,
especially because they built up.
You know why? Because they didn't want to go all in and do the worm.
Yeah, which they already built up last movie.
They should just do the worm. Why are you not
doing the things
worm?
that you build up, DC? How have they not learned their lesson yet?
How many times? Well, they did.
They
did. They hired James Gunn.
Yeah, but you get my point.
They learned the lesson. We have to see if they actually apply it.
Yeah,
we know they know what they did wrong. They just have to actually go through and fix it.
We'll see over the next 5 years whether or not they've learned.
They know how the cars broke.
All right, we got.
Now they got to get it fixed.
They're building some Legos now.
Yeah, it's just the CGI building shuffle.
And he's throwing a car. All right, yep, I had a dragon. Okay,
wow, these
cool.
movies have such a lower budget than.
Okay, it looks like just the one guy got depowered because there was 4 of them in that scene. And this looks like it's going to be the final battle scene with this whole dome thing.
This is when they get beat up, and then later is when...
Oh, no, they've been separated. Okay. Yeah, see, because she has...
The final battle is the big dragon.
And they're fighting some
that's
more.
When they're blowing
He's
up
pointing.
Oh, pause. In that scene, he's like, you got to take my powers away. It's the only way. So what they're going to do is he's going to be like, all right, I'm taking away your powers. You got to surrender yourself, Billy. And then Billy will be like, at the last second, he'll get them back, and he'll save the... Because that's how comic...
Or... The villains are trying to collect the hero's powers, right?
Well, in this, they're like, they stole our power, so they're going to try... They're going back...
But they're trying to get it back, right?
Yeah.
So how do you defeat a villain who's trying to absorb powers?
Sam, you give him all the power at once!
Overload him! I hate that.
It's about family. So they're all going to at once say Shazam, like, right next to him, and it'll hit them all with all the electricity.
And it'll overload them. That is by far and away my least favorite superhero trope
I will
ever.
take Skybeam 100 times before I take
Skybeam. At least looks cool, and Skybeam can mean a lot of different things. Skybeam doesn't always mean the same thing. Usually it means portal, but sometimes it means other stuff. And portals, I'm fine with portals. I just hate overload the bad guy. Anyway, continuing.
I love it.
So we got more of
my favorite
I think
trope.
Mount Olympus. We got Shazam.
So I think
in
they
jail
got
now.
Shazam the wizard Shazam in God jail,
Yeah, he's in God jail.
and
There's
they have
some
the
more
magic
Legos
stick that
flying
can
around.
undo their powers, and that's why they're such.
He's catching the girl. He's got a wizard stick now.
He also has the stick now. Yeah, this is the part where he's like, "I offer myself to take away my power, so that we can do a
Overload
power."
him, and it was dragon, and he's yelling.
Also, there's a third daughter of Atlas,
Sure.
who's just around, and I think is like the good one who's
Alright.
trying to help them.
Okay. Just stab him with the overload him, get him
the
with
dragon
the
with the
dragon.
stick,
Whoa,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
dodging it. Whoa.
Again, not a great trailer,
Punch your dragon. Yeah, get
but
him.
just broad enough.
It looks like it'll be fun.
I have faith in the people making it and less in like the marketing.
I have a feeling that I'm gonna feel the same way about this one as I did about the first one. It wasn't like my favorite iteration of the character, but it was just fun enough that I didn't really care. I don't want more Velma commentary. If I have to hear one more person's opinion on Velma, I'm actually going to.
Velma is a Velma.
I'm going to blow up the Warner Brothers Studios.
Anyway, but yeah, I have faith in David Sandberg, and I like the cast a lot. So,
all right,
I think I'll have fun with it.
Invincible. We have Invincible.
You don't really need to play the Invincible.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's just them, just like him sitting at a burger joint.
Fine.
And they're talking about like, wow, when's the next season of Invincible coming out? And he goes like, well, animation takes a long time.
All right, here we go. Well,
Late
not this animation, because their
2023.
animation sucks absolute bungus.
Apparently, it's going to be better in the
Well,
next
yeah, see how he's moving this time? He didn't do that before. Yeah, he's like moving in like more than 1 frame per second.
Yeah, it's going to be better. And apparently they did seasons 2 and 3 at the same time.
Did you see how his shoulder like did a little move there?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he went like blah.
Apparently it looks like they're using
It looks a
Flash
lot.
now,
it does look like they're using Flash, but I'd honestly take that over what they
But,
did before.
apparently they did 2 and 3 at the same time, so they'll actually come out like relatively.
You know
close
what? It
together.
looks like they've artificially upscaled the frame rate. Look at the way this is moving. Like,
No,
do you kind of see what I mean?
I think they're just like it's the same people, but they have like a slightly higher.
It looks like they're like interlacing like frames into the animation. Like everything.
Maybe I
looks
don't
a
know.
little...
It just looks like it's a little bit smooth. It's not that much different. Also, this is an ad. I don't think this is like the actual. Oh, they're literally talking about how like Invincible's taking a long time.
This sure is a show. Oh man. Oh wait.
All they said was that it's coming out in late
2020.
2020.
We got some discs happening. Yep, and then talking some more, and then Invincible late 2023. All right.
So cool. I think it's coming out in like November, December, and then season 3 will probably come out like a year after that. They have so much comic to get through.
Why don't they just like make the show?
They gotta
instead of not making the show.
They gotta crank this out faster.
Like, how many shows does Amazon make? How many animated shows? How many animated shows does Amazon make?
A good amount.
Name 2.
They did that Boys one.
Name 2 that are currently going.
No, I can't name one Amazon show. I can't name.
There's
3.
Invincible.
Yeah.
Name another.
I can't name.
Yeah, because they don't make that many. My point is they don't make that many.
I can't name more than like 3 Amazon shows in general.
Yeah, there's The Boys, there's the Lord of the Rings one, and there's Invincible.
Yeah, and then there's Miss Maisel.
Right, but they're not
and
making
Reacher. That's another one.
That doesn't count.
Jack Ryan.
Is that different?
Yeah, those are both Tom Clancy books, but they're 2.
I count every single Tom Clancy property.
They're all
the same thing.
They're all the same thing.
It's just analyst guy become action hero, hunt down James Bond villain.
Just, I want everyone listening to know, Max was complaining about how long it was taking, and he literally left immediately.
Yeah, he's gone now. He's not here.
So that's everybody put Max as a big fart head in the comments.
It's a good thing it's cold in here because this computer's getting a little heated.
It's getting toasty.
And guess what this computer doesn't have?
A fan?
A fan.
Yeah, well, thanks, Apple.
Apple's good at designing products. Okay.
Are you looking forward to more Invincible? I sure am.
I am. I liked Invincible a lot.
Love season
it's like
1.
The Boys, but like good.
The Boys is good.
Yeah, but it's like good, like from like the whole show's good instead of like.
Well, Invincible's only been 8 episodes.
Well, the first 8 episodes of Invincible are better than the first 8 episodes of The Boys.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument there. But I like The Boys. I think The Boys needs to end.
I think Invincible's more interesting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because there are...
I find the characters in Invincible more interesting than I do in The Boys.
You can understand the stakes more in Invincible. Because, like, okay, what happens if Omni-Man wins in Invincible?
Everybody does a big die.
Well, the Viltrumites take over Earth, right? What happens if Homelander wins in The Boys?
I guess he'll kill a lot of people.
I guess maybe he'll kill people, or maybe he'll just run a company. Like what is Homelander
Yeah,
even
Homelander
do?
doesn't have a plan.
He's
and
just
he never
a guy.
has.
And that's part of his character, but also it makes it harder to like care about the stakes.
The stakes aren't very well.
The stakes are
defined.
not as clear. Anyway,
other than the stakes in The Boys are that he'll kill like the main characters.
and
But
maybe
other than
some
that,
other
we
people,
really don't know what he would do.
he like might rule the world. Maybe
I guess.
probably like throw some more girls off buildings
And like walk around with no pants on.
and drink breast milk.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. Anyway,
Anyway, all right, on to a big boy
Sam,
topic.
are you excited for the Academy Awards?
Oh, you know what I can do actually? Bloop. There, we'll be down
Do
here.
we want that? These
We'll
are
have
gonna
us
be
over here.
visible.
We're more visually interesting than what we're about to show our
Sam,
audience.
The Academy Awards are back.
Here we go.
They're going to be hosted by Jiminy Kimmel this year.
Whoa!
On March 12th, almost like a month and a half away, which is too long. They should air in early February.
But it means that our predictions will come out before the show comes out.
They would have if it came out in early February.
No, but like usually our predictions come out after the show's already aired. That's what happened with the Game Awards and the Golden Globes.
That's because the Game Awards, they released it like a week before. And the Golden Globes came out before. The Golden Globes,
like one day before.
The Golden Globes come out in a few weeks, but the Oscars, they put out like 2 months in advance.
All right. Who do we have for
Sam, let's
best
start. We're going to go through all the
screenplay?
categories. We're going to tell you who it is.
And we're going to
whether
tell
or
you
not we've seen the movies that have been nominated and who we think should win.
All right, so we have Triangle of Sadness.
You didn't say what category it's for.
Oh, I did. It's original screenplay.
Original screenplay.
Tar, The Fablemans, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Banshees of Inisherin. I
The
think
Triangle of Sadness.
Yes, I said Triangle. That was the first one.
Okay.
Everything
it's
Everywhere.
between Banshees and it's going to be Banshees.
It's going to be Banshees, but I want it to not be Banshees.
I want it to be the
I
Banshees.
actually haven't seen Banshees, so I have no idea.
Banshees of Inisherin is really good, and probably the best part about it is the script. So I think it's pretty much a shoo-in for that one. The other ones really don't stand a chance.
All right, writing for adapted screenplay.
Adapted screenplay is real dumb because they count sequels as adaptations of the first movie.
Well, that is dumb and not how stories
even though
work.
they're different movies.
That is just like not how a story functions.
Glass Onion is a adapted screenplay because
How?
Knives Out exists.
That's dumb.
Even though there's one character who's in both, and that's the only thing that's the same.
That's very stupid. Okay, but moving on. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front,
obviously adapted from the book All Quiet on the Western Front.
Glass Onion, and Knives Out Mystery, adapted from the first movie.
I guess.
Living, okay.
That's a remake of a Japanese film.
Top Gun Maverick, which I don't think they're legally allowed to say is an adaptation, or they'd kind of be conceding
No,
to that lawsuit.
because it's a sequel to Top Gun.
Right, which is...
Just, All Quiet on the Western Front, written by Edward Berger, Leslie Patterson, and Ian Stokell. Knives Out, of course, written by Ryan Johnson. Living, written by Kazu Ishiguro. Top Gun Maverick, screenplay by Aaron Kruger and Eric Warren Singer and Christopher McQuarrie. Story by Peter Craig and Justin Marks.
That's a lot of people.
Aaron Kruger, now Oscar-nominated writer. You know what he did before this?
Batman vs Superman.
Transformers.
Oh,
He is now an Oscar-nominated screenwriter.
well, I would say Transformers is Oscar worthy. remember when Megatron goes?
I think
Optimus
it won. One of them.
Optimus Prime,
Suck
suck my balls.
At least one of them
when
definitely won visual effects, so it is definitely an Oscar-winning franchise.
Remember when Bumblebee pees on a guy?
Yes. And then Women Talking by Sarah Polley was the fifth one. This one's a little bit more difficult. I think it's probably going to be Women Talking.
Yeah,
because they didn't nominate any women for
director. The women have to win something.
Or original, or I don't think original screenplay. So they have to give it to one so they don't look sexist. But I think it could also be All Quiet, because that is nominated for Best Picture, and so I think it's between those two. I'm going to say Women Talking, though.
Makes sense. All right, next up we have...
Visual effects. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water,
The Batman, Black Panther,
Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun Maverick. Now, I think
it's a shoo-in, but I think Top Gun stands a chance.
it's about a 98% chance it's Avatar: The Way of Water.
And the other 2% is Top Gun Maverick.
Because Avatar is an animated movie.
Yeah.
And it looks really good.
It looks really good. It was able to do the impossible and have good visual effects.
Okay, here's the other factors, though. Is that Top Gun I think the people at the Oscars think the planes are CGI.
No, I think it's nominated because they used real planes.
No, I think they think the planes are CGI, and that's why they think it's visual effects. And I think they're like, wow, those planes look real.
But any like staging or prop is a visual effect. So using real planes is part of the visual effects. Visual effects doesn't just mean CGI. Visual effects is just the way you make it happen.
Prop is not a visual.
It can be.
And then All Quiet could win because 1917 won a few years ago, and that was just a war movie. So they could just give it to All Quiet because they like war movies.
That makes no sense and is dumb, and Avatar will win. Okay, next. Sound.
Used to be sound editing and sound mixing, and now it's just sound.
The same. It's just Elvis has replaced Black Panther.
So this one is All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick. The general rule with the sound category is whatever is the loudest wins. So which
Batman.
is the loudest? It's either, I think it's probably Elvis though.
Batman's loudest.
So I've seen all of these.
Batman goes bomb, 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 bomb.
But that's music.
Bomb. Yeah, but then the cars explode. Remember when the car engine revs super loud and then it goes?
I'm gonna go with Top Gun.
Yeah, it's gonna be Top Gun or Elvis. I think Batman.
It's Top
I think
Gun.
Batman was probably genuinely the best though.
Top Gun, I think it's gonna do it because Ford v Ferrari won this award when that came out, and that is. Ford v Ferrari is to cars what Top Gun is to planes.
Okay. But what sound does a guy make when he jumps off a building in a wingsuit?
To be clear, Top Gun has amazing sound design. So
you know who knows what that sounds like?
Elvis.
The people who made Batman, they know what that sounds like. It sounds like in the rain.
Okay.
I hope Batman wins. I think Batman deserves it. But anyway, moving on. We got short film, live action.
No one's seen any of these. An Irish Goodbye. Evalu, Le Pupil,
so I want
Ride,
Red Suitcase to win because it sounds the coolest.
I'm gonna go with An Irish Goodbye.
How do you make a short film about that? Isn't it An Irish Goodbye where you just like leave a place and don't tell anyone?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Remember in The Office when the Daryl does an Irish Goodbye and he like leaves without telling anyone, and then they make him come back and they do like a dance party.
I didn't know he said it was an Irish Goodbye.
That's what that's called. That's what that is. Is when you leave. It's when you leave a place for like either forever or for a long period of time, and you don't tell anyone you're leaving.
Let's see. In rural Northern Ireland, a pair of estranged brothers reunite following their mother's untimely death.
Yeah, so she had an Irish Goodbye. That's the metaphor. Anyway, moving on. Short film, animated.
Okay,
we have
this one when they do a live stream every year to announce these, and this year it was Riz Ahmed and the lady from Megan, the lead from the movie Megan.
Oh, are they hosting it?
They just read the list.
Okay.
And this one, Riz Ahmed read it, and I'm 90% sure all of these are made up, and they just wanted him to say funny things. Because the things nominated are, these are real names.
Okay, I'm going to read this.
The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
The Flying Sailor.
Ice Merchants.
Wait, the Flying Sailor. You know who that sounds
no,
like.
No, Sam, you can't. Not now.
Captain. All right.
Oh.
Ice Merchants.
Okay.
My Year of Dicks, which is definitely not about like a prostitute and her life in Las Vegas.
It could be. I don't know.
That'd be funny if it was. She just goes through she just rates all the different men she slept with for that year.
This is gonna look really weird on my search history. Let's see. Oh, but that is what it's about.
Wait, did I guess correctly?
But they're not. They're saying like dicks as in like penises.
Let's go.
Not like. When I saw it, I was thinking like I guess they know a lot of people named Richard.
Let's freaking go.
Pam tries very hard to lose her virginity and always searches for the one. She's not alone. Her best friends are with her. And it's like rotoscope.
The real penis was the men we had sex with along the way.
So the movie is like rotoscope animation.
Of her trying to get banged?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Oscars are weird. I don't know if you know this, but the Oscars are weird.
And then the last film nominated is An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. Tucker, have you ever seen light novel titles from for Japanese light novels? You know how they're like, I think I reincarnated as the world's most pampered pooch, but I came back as Fenrir, like that kind of thing?
That one is a stop motion thing, and the premise of the short is that an ostrich tells a guy that he lives in a fake ostrich stop motion world.
And then he like has a mental
And
breakdown.
then he has a mental breakdown.
That sounds funny, actually. I kind of want to watch that.
Too bad you can't.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. All right, production design.
All
we
Quiet
have
on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon. This was just only one of its couple nominations.
Yeah.
Elvis and the Fabelmans. They're going to give it to
Avatar.
Babylon.
Why Babylon?
Because it's old Hollywood and they're wearing old dresses and they're wearing old outfits.
All right, it's a period piece. I forgot. Period pieces always automatically
They're
win
not
this.
going to give it to All Quiet because they're just wearing military.
Well, they might.
Elvis, no.
Okay, but we have 3 period pieces, though. It could be actually all of these except Avatar are period pieces. It could really be any of them.
I'm gonna think it's Babylon. It's one of the only things it's nominated for, and it's got pretty good costumes. So I think it's gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be the Fabelmans or Elvis because they're
Elvis
too
had
boring.
good costumes,
but he was just wearing Elvis's outfit.
but Tom Hanks was real fat.
But that's not production design.
Yeah, it is. They were like,
this is production design.
yeah.
Oh, I thought this was costumes. Why is Avatar on here?
Because they had to design the sets and the backgrounds and all that.
There's no set though. It's just a CGI background.
Okay, Tucker, almost all of these have CGI backgrounds for their sets.
Okay, but do you think Elvis was CGI?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Probably you're right.
I guarantee you whatever theaters he
production
plays in the
design?
movie are CGI.
I'm gonna go with Babylon still though.
Lock
it in, Babylon.
I think it's either Babylon or Avatar.
I think it could be the
Or Elvis. It's one of those 3. I don't think it's All Quiet on the Western Front. I don't think it's the Fabelmans. I think the Fabelmans just doesn't stand out enough. I think Elvis and Babylon do a better job.
Nothing in Elvis, like production design wise, stands out either. So I think it's probably Babylon.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, next one is there's a long list.
Is this Best
geez.
Picture? Let's come back to this one.
Okay, where are we supposed to go? Oh,
music,
okay,
original score.
Why did they put Best Picture like in the middle? All right.
Original song. Okay.
Best original song. We have Applause from
Tell It Like a Woman by Diane Warren.
We have Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick
by Lady Gaga and Blood Pop.
I didn't know that
move us
that was a
for
thing.
This next one.
Oh, okay. Ooh, Ludwig van Gorens. Oh, yeah, that one will win.
And then we have Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Music by Is that Teams?
Thames,
Rihanna,
Ryan Coogler, Ludwig Göransson.
Lyrics
by Thames and Ryan Coogler. So that one wins because Rihanna's in it.
It does not.
I know it was. That was like her return to music after like being gone for like 20 years.
Next one is Not To from RRR. Music by M.M. Kiravani. Lyrics by Chandra Bose. Sorry,
Chandra Bose.
I think so.
And
then This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I didn't know that there was an original song.
Not To is gonna win.
Oh wait, yeah, I do remember that song actually.
So Not To is gonna lock it. It's literally not even a question.
I think it could be Lift Me Up. I think you're underestimating there's just ridiculous list of names here.
Okay.
Ryan Coogler, Rihanna, and Ludwig Göransson.
Look up Not To. You don't have to do
I know what it is. I've seen the clip.
Okay. That's why that's gonna win.
That is the only one that I think is actually.
And it's the only one in the movie, and it won Best.
No, This Is a Life is in the movie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's in the end credits.
No, it's in the movie too.
When?
During like the montages when it's going through all the different like universes they're going through.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I know for a fact it's in the movie.
But Not To. Okay, it's gonna be Not To though.
Yeah, it's the one that's like because this one is like part musical.
Because it also won the Golden Globe, so
and this movie is like part
that
musical.
one is like a whole musical.
Yeah.
Number. Yeah.
All right.
Original score: All Quiet on the Western Front by Volker Bertelmann. Babylon by Justin Hurwitz. Banshees of Inisherin by Carter Burwell. Everything Everywhere All at Once by Son Lux. And The Fabelmans by John Williams. I think it should probably be Banshees, but I think it's gonna be The Fabelmans.
Yeah, because John Williams be the GOAT.
And he threatened to retire, and I think just as insurance,
they don't want him to go out.
They want to give him an Oscar before he retires.
Also before he dies, because he's like 90-something years old.
He's gonna live forever,
hopefully, or at least long enough where we can make an AI to replace him. All right.
Yeah, Sam, that's what everyone's hoping for.
That's what I want, bro. Imagine infinite John Williams music.
If Sam had his way, everything in the whole world would be created by ChatGPT. That's all I'm saying.
That makes no sense. What? What?
Move on.
What? Okay, anyways, makeup and hairstyling. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. I really think Batman deserves this one.
The Whale, Sam. The whale is gonna win.
Okay, yes, it's gonna win because fat suit
They make a
always
fat
wins.
suit. You make a fat
Wait
suit.
a minute. Wait a minute.
Win an Oscar.
Batman also has a fat suit though.
True, but he's not the main character.
That's true, but it's still a fat suit.
Also, it came out in March, so they forgot about it.
Okay, but Batman's costume looks sick. The Riddler's costume looks sick.
This is makeup and hairstyling.
It's the same thing.
Costume design's a different thing.
Well, he still has. We got the Penguin makeup. Batman has the eyeliner on.
It's really a battle of fat suits between Penguin. Really, three. It's a battle of fat suits between the Penguin, Tom Hanks in Elvis, and Brendan Fraser in the whale.
But the
whale suit is the biggest one.
I
so
could tell Brendan Fraser was playing the whale. I could not tell that the guy who was playing the Penguin was playing the Penguin.
You're right.
I think the makeup's just better in that one.
You could be right here. But this is a comic book movie, and they didn't watch it.
Also, they had the hookers. They had their makeup on. It was like kind of sparkly.
That's Sam. You know, you're right. But it's a comic book movie, and they didn't watch it.
Well, I really hope Batman wins. Batman deserves this one. All right,
it's gonna be the whale.
International 100%. Feature film.
All Quiet on the Western Front from Germany. Just so you know, every country only gets to submit one movie. Because
them's the rules.
All Quiet on the Western Front by Germany, Argentina, 1985 by, you guessed it, Argentina.
Wow.
Close from Belgium, EO from Poland, and The Quiet Girl from Ireland. It's going to be All Quiet on the Western Front.
That's the one that was nominated for everything else.
Because that's the one nominated for Best Picture, and none of the rest of them were. So instant win button.
That's how that works. All right.
I don't think there's ever been a Best foreign movie that won and was in. If you got nominated for Best Picture and you're a foreign film, I don't think you've ever lost in the Best International Feature.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Like, I think logically that
it doesn't
cannot
make
happen.
any sense.
Yeah. All right.
Film editing: The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick.
I really think Everything Everywhere should win this because like there's all those different scenes where they cut to like other like multiverse shots where like they're flipping through realities and stuff and it's like bending the way the screen is. I really think the way that was edited is the best
editing category usually works is whatever one has the most cuts.
Then it's definitely Everything Everywhere.
No, it's Elvis.
Remember where there's that?
You've seen Elvis?
Tucker, remember the seizure scene that gave people seizures because of all the cuts so fast?
True. Have you seen in the movie Elvis?
No, I've not seen Elvis.
Okay, Elvis. The first hour, there's a cut every 15 seconds, so it's gonna be Elvis. 100%.
Okay, but that's like mind numbing. That's not good.
Doesn't matter. If there's a lot of cuts, you win Best Editing. You know what movie won Best Editing 3 years ago, or I guess it was like 5 now? Bohemian Rhapsody. And it won because there were so many cuts. Literally, you just cut a bunch and you win Best Editing.
Bad way to decide.
The people who vote for this, when they see editing, they think it's just cutting things a lot. Because they're all idiots.
They are dumb idiots.
Yes.
All right.
I don't want to...
Documentary short film. We haven't seen any of these.
The Elephant Whisperers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate.
I think it's gonna be Haul Out because I don't know, who cares.
I'm gonna lock in the Elephant Whisperers.
Documentary feature film. I
have seen one of these.
We have All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love,
A House Made of Splinters,
and
Navalny. You saw Navalny, right?
No,
that was the one about the guy who infiltrates like Putin's whole thing. He almost gets killed. It was on HBO Max.
Not seen.
I think I heard either you or our dad talk about it.
I have not seen.
But Fire of Love is the only one I've seen, so I guess it should be that one.
All right,
but I think it's probably going to be
House Made of Splinters because
All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I think
it doesn't sound as good. All right, House Made of Splinters would be also a cool band name, unrelated. All right, directing. We have the Banshees.
You know what would be is the Splinters.
What?
As a band name, the Splinters.
Sure.
Write that down.
Directing, we have the Banshees of Inisherin, Martin McDonough,
the Daniels from Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans,
Todd Field for Tar, and then the shocking one here was Ruben Östlund, Triangle of Sadness. So notable snubs: Joseph Kosinski, Top Gun, James Cameron for Avatar.
Yeah, I agree.
Weirdos who thought, what's his face? It's 1 a.m. I forget any of everyone's names at this time. Directed Elvis.
Elvis guy.
That guy. You know him. Everyone knows him. I just can't remember his name, even though he's really famous. And then no female directors.
I think it'll
Literally
either be
no women.
I think it'll either be the Daniels or Steven Spielberg.
I think it's going to be between them. I think they're probably whichever one of these wins Best Director will win Best Picture.
Because the fact that they were able to make a movie as goofy as Everything Everywhere
and have it hold together
and keep the serious tone and the like genuine,
just for it to be coherent,
and to be as genuine and heartfelt and serious as it is.
Yeah,
that's genuinely just a work of magic.
But I think it could also be The Fabelmans
because it's got his Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, Spielberg won at the Golden Globes. And a lot of the people who vote in Hollywood are older.
They know who that is.
They didn't understand what happened in Everything Everywhere. So.
They did not. They had no idea. They were so lost. I feel so bad for them.
I feel like for Spielberg, they'll be like, oh, he got so personal with this one. We're going to give him the award for being so personal.
He really dug deep into his childhood and said just what that was.
Recreated it.
And changed the characters' names.
That's not a bash to the Fabelmans.
No, it's a good movie. But
right.
it's
also, I'm locking in Spielberg.
Oh, yep. But I feel like that's safe. I want them to win some of the lock in.
I would like the Daniels to win as well.
All right. Costume design.
Okay, here's the Babylon Award. Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No, this is costume design, though.
Oh, you know who's going to win?
Why is
Miss Harris Goes to Paris.
Why?
Because it's about a fashion show. So they're just going to give it to them. Because it's just going to be about outfits.
Where's the whale? And where's Batman?
Oh, because Batman doesn't have... You know why? Batman's a comic book movie. You're forgetting that.
Black Panther's here.
Yep.
Batman costumes look better.
You know
than Black
why?
Panther
Because in the Batman, they're all dressed in like suits and stuff.
Yeah, they look like a person
Black
that might
Panther,
exist.
they're all wearing like African robes.
There's a freaking Power Rangers character in Black Panther.
Doesn't matter. It's the Prestige Marvel series.
It's the one that has been nominated before.
Yep.
That means nothing.
And now it's Prestige.
How?
But it's gonna be Babylon because it's 1930s Hollywood, and oh boy, do they love 1930s
boy, do they love
Hollywood.
that. All right, next thing we have cinematography.
Okay.
Why is Elvis here?
Nominees: All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, Tar. You know what was not nominated?
What was not nominated?
Top Gun Maverick was not nominated for Best Cinematography.
Yeah, that's kind of like just a
How?
Actually just
Who
offensive.
in the world said that Elvis has better cinematography than the Banshees of Inisherin and Top Gun Maverick?
In Top Gun Maverick, they strap cameras to actual fighter jets, and it doesn't look bad.
And it looks good.
It looks actually incredible.
You can not only tell what's going on, but it looks good.
And you actually feel like you're in an airplane.
But no, Sam, but Empire of Light was filmed by Roger Deakins.
There were a lot of lights.
So he just got in for being Roger Deakins.
There were so many lights.
It's so dumb. Elvis should not be here. Bardo should not be here. Tar probably shouldn't be here.
The heck even is Bardo? Never heard of that.
And I know a lot of people whine about there not being comic movies nominated, but the Batman, Top Gun Maverick, and Banshees all deserve it to be in here over Bardo, Elvis, and Tar.
Yep, facts. All right, next. Animated feature film.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast made it in, and Turning Red. Turning Red, the only Disney film from the last year to be nominated.
I have a question. If Marcel the Shell with Shoes On counts as an animated feature film,
and it is,
why does Avatar not count as a animated feature film?
Because Avatar was made by James Cameron.
I would argue Avatar's more animated than Marcel the Shell.
Oh, it is. It is. But it was made by James Cameron.
So does that mean
it's
not animated?
And it's a quote-unquote real movie.
So the distinction between an animated film and a non-animated film at this point in current Hollywood is just whether or not I say it's animated.
Well, Sam, I don't know if you remember from last year's Oscars, but as they described it, animation is a dumb thing for babies that adults have to endure.
Yeah, well, they're kind of morons, but
so
like it's the same with like The Lion King. Wasn't that nominated for like a regular Oscar? Even though that movie is 100%
that was a
animated?
dumb movie for babies that adults had to endure.
But my point is it was 100% animated.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the live action one?
Yeah.
That wasn't nominated for like anything. It was nominated for like visual effects because it was a cartoon.
My point is if it was nominated, it probably would have been in the live action category.
Real, it's a real movie and it's not animated.
Then this should be in the real movie category.
But Marcel looks like a cartoon.
But no, it doesn't.
A little bit.
It looks like real.
He looks
that's
cartoony though.
The whole point is like it takes place in the normal.
But he's
world.
got like little shoes and stuff. If it was like a shell, like just a normal looking shell, and it was CGI, that's a real movie.
So you're telling me
If it's alive, it's a cartoon.
You're telling me that it's more cartoony for a real-looking shell with a googly eye glued to it.
Yep.
Is more cartoony than a 7-foot-tall blue monkey guy who can swim.
Yep. Because Sam, one is a dumb babysitter for that adults have to adore, and one is a real, actual cinema.
I'm gonna blow up Hollywood.
Yep. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is going to win.
Yeah, because it says Guillermo del Toro on
Puss in
there.
Boots: The Last Wish should win.
Because
it's
the best
better
one.
and it's very good. And
Well,
I saw
actually,
it again today, and it's amazing.
I've heard Guillermo del Toro is actually. Really
I haven't
good
seen
too.
Pinocchio. I want to though.
I have heard that it is like one of the most like.
Yeah, I mean, it
changed
could
my
be
life
better. I
kind
don't
of
know.
movies. I haven't seen it though. But
I've
out of
seen-
the ones I've seen, yeah,
I've
Puss in
only
Boots
seen
wins
two of
easy,
these, which is interesting.
which is unfortunate because the other one I've seen is Turning Red,
Yeah.
which I hope not win because it doesn't deserve it, but it might because it's Disney though.
Every Pixar film at least has like a 15% shot, no matter.
Yeah, no
what.
matter the quality.
If they like just drew like a picture of a talking dumpster,
What's notably not here is
that would be dominated.
The Lightyear.
Is it notable though?
Well, it's not here. It's
Yeah,
a Pixar
but
movie.
all
it's
of
not
these
here.
are better than Lightyear.
How many Pixar movies weren't animated for best animated feature?
A lot.
Like other than Cars 2 and like all the Cars movies.
like a lot.
Like which
They
ones?
don't all just get in for free.
Almost every of them do.
I don't know. We'd have to go through it. I don't.
Anyway,
have time for that
next thing.
Actress. Okay, now we get into the big categories.
Actress
in a supporting role. Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the first MCU actress to be the first MCU actor in general to be nominated for an MCU role. For a general any acting award at all. Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Stephanie Sue from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Stephanie Sue finally getting some recognition.
I haven't seen The Whale. I've seen the other nominees. I've seen Hong Chow in a different movie this year that I really liked, but it was not The Whale.
What was that?
The Menu. She was really good in The Menu.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. I saw that movie.
You did? You watched that one?
I did.
Okay. Oh look,
He's back. I don't know if we're recording your audio anymore though, because Tucker's PC crashed.
What were you doing? Where'd you go?
He's not even going to participate. He's going to stand over there.
Okay, well, your microphone's not on, and I'm not turning it
Well,
on.
it is on, but it's not recording.
So, yeah, have fun. You're not going to be heard. You don't get to leave for an hour and then just come back and be on the show. Yeah, you were.
You were gone for literally an hour. Almost exactly an hour.
Were you on the toilet? What were you
let's
doing?
see, how long have we been recording for? 57 minutes. 3
Yeah.
minutes away from an hour. Woo!
Okay. Who calls you at 1
Taddy
a.m.?
Mason. All right.
Angela Bassett probably will win because she won the Golden Globe, and they want to be like, oh my gosh, look, Black Panther, amazing,
Wow,
love Black Panther.
Look, Marvel movies are real movies.
When it's Black Panther, if it's not a Black Panther, it doesn't count.
I
as a
think
movie.
Stephanie Sue should win.
I think Stephanie Sue probably should.
Like it's a shoe-in, honestly. I think she should just win.
But Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, probably will.
She's more famous.
She's never been nominated for an Oscar before, and she's Jamie
How
Lee
is that
Curtis. I don't know. So I think they'll just give it to her.
Yeah, okay.
For not
needs
being
one.
nominated for
Stephanie,
anything
you'll get
else.
one eventually. But she,
Yeah, Jamie
she
Lee
needs
Curtis is older, and
one. She was Jobu Tabaki.
Jojo.
Yeah. Remember Everything Everywhere All at Once? The donut head.
He
thing?
doesn't remember.
Her. Yeah.
Max
her.
doesn't remember movies he saw.
The
earlier today.
antagonist of the movie.
Except
Oh
for
yeah,
you did
Max.
it.
What happens in Plane?
Captain Pilot goes.
For those of you who are unaware, whenever we mention Captain Pilot, that's the parody character we made up after watching Plane.
Yeah, nothing like a good reference to something people weren't
something
there
we
for.
made up.
I'm the best
These are all,
pilot there is.
I can't speak for Hong Chow, but these are all very good performances.
Yeah, I don't think
I wouldn't be-
anyone doesn't deserve to
I
be
wouldn't
here.
be too unhappy if any of them won.
Yeah, I wouldn't be okay with any of these guys winning. What's
Okay,
up? Actress
in a leading role. This was the big everyone had a freak out category. So Kate Blanchett got nominated for Tar. Ana de Armas got nominated for Blonde. Andrea Riseborough got nominated for To Leslie. Michelle Williams for The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, Ana de Armas somehow made it in here, even though that movie is like horrible just to everyone to Marilyn
It's
Monroe.
like
to,
barely a movie.
And it's
even.
just like exploitation and
It's
gross.
like really just porn.
Yeah. Like,
Porn with better cameras.
but like there's
but
they're
let
like-
me just save that.
on my watch list.
I'm gonna move this number 1 on the watch list. Actually,
Yeah, but
I'm gonna watch this tonight.
so this was notable because Sam, so the Woman King, Viola Davis was not nominated, and she was she was like, the idea was she was a shoo-in for that. Also not nominated for Till was Deanne Deadweiler. She was not nominated either. And those were both thought to have taken these 2 spots of Anna Danvers and Andrea Riseborough. Andrea Riseborough made her way in because a bunch of famous people in Hollywood essentially just like started a letter writing campaign on her behalf to have her be nominated, even though that movie has been released in like 2 theaters.
Okay.
And she just got to be nominated. So there's a lot of controversy on the internet that was somehow racially motivated.
Well, I don't think it was racially motivated, but it was definitely stupidly motivated.
Yeah. It's that no matter what, though, it always was and probably still will be a competition between Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. I think Michelle Yeoh probably the stand. Michelle Williams was actually really good in The Fabelmans, though.
But she's not in.
She's not as big. Like, that wasn't as big of a movie. But I do think that I would say her and Michelle Yeoh
I
are.
didn't like it because her hair.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Well,
Max.
that's not really has
Again,
anything
they
to do with
also
anything.
still can't hear you,
No,
by
it's
the
wrong
way.
with it.
Well, they can hear him.
So and then Cate Blanchett. I don't think Tar is gonna. Tar has been nominated for a lot of
I
stuff.
don't think Tar's really gonna win anything.
But I don't think it'll win a whole lot. So I think they're gonna want to give it something, and it's Cate Blanchett.
But actress in a leading role, that's a big award.
But they're gonna give it to Cate Blanchett. I think so.
Okay, if they do that, they do that. Let's
Okay,
next.
actor in a supporting role. We have Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin. Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway made his way in. Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, even though he was in one scene. Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin.
Man, double.
And Kehu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Judd Hirsch, that should be Paul Dano. Why is it not Paul Dano? I don't know why it's Judd Hirsch.
You know who it should really be?
What's that, Sam?
Oh crap, I'm forgetting his name.
Uh-oh.
The funny guy.
What? Seth Rogen?
Yeah, give it to Seth Rogen. Wouldn't that be goofy?
He's
Wouldn't that
in the
be
movie
funny?
more than Judd Hirsch is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He deserves it.
He was the uncle who shows up and like yells at him for a while.
Yeah,
and
who
then
shows up
leaves.
at like the beginning of the movie. He's like, "You're gonna be a star, kid," and then he like dips and never shows up again.
Oh yeah, but that guy was.
He was fun. He was
Your,
fun.
your mom wants to play the piano, and your dad's a loser, son. Your mom's gonna bang. Your mom's gonna bang the funny guy. I keep forgetting his name.
Seth
Rogen. She's gonna bang Seth Rogen. You're gonna make a movie about it. It's gonna come out 40 years later. I'm gonna be in it too.
We're all gonna be dead when this happens.
We're all gonna be dead except you. The guy who plays the Riddler is gonna be your dad. He's gonna make computers for IBM or something.
It's weird that this all happened exactly.
Man,
Is he
Uncle, you
predicting?
sure are being really specific about this.
Like Batman wasn't even popular when this happened.
Who's Batman?
Anyway, Batman was a thing.
What's
Sam.
a
He was
Batman?
invented in the 30s. Anyway, yeah.
Oh no!
It should be Paul Dano though for Fabelmans. If you're gonna
Yeah.
have someone from the Fabelmans, it should be Paul Dano.
It should.
It's
No,
gonna,
I honestly think it should be Seth Rogen.
it's gonna be Kehu Kwan.
He proved that he could say something without being high. And that's a new bar for him.
Good job, Seth.
Used to he had to be high.
Yeah, you
in
don't
order
know
to
that.
talk.
You don't know that.
That's true. We don't know that. I can't drug test him, but I assume from
My
the way
assumption
he was.
is that when he was invited to be in the Spielberg movie, he probably wasn't very high on set.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pass a certain level of soberness to be in a Steven Spielberg movie,
But it's gonna
unless
be,
you're Steven Spielberg.
it's gonna be Kehu Kwan, 100%. There's no chance.
I think he
anyone else.
deserves it. I think he was the most interesting.
If
He had the most interesting story.
If you see his speech at the Golden Globes, then you would know why. It's just
He's
gonna be
just a
Kehu Kwan.
wholesome man.
We love Kehu Kwan.
All right,
I can't wait for
next.
everyone to congratulate themselves on having him win an Oscar after they were the ones that kicked him out of Hollywood for 4.
Yeah, that's very cool of them to do.
Actor in a leading role.
We have Austin Butler from Elvis. We have Colin Farrell from The Banshees of Inisherin.
Errol.
I think it's funnier if I say Farrell.
Okay.
We have Brendan Frazier from The Whale.
Frasier.
We have Paul Mescal from After Sun.
And
We have Bill Nagai from Living.
The guy.
Bill Nye?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I feel so bad for Bill Nye.
the Science
No, that's
Guy.
not Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye.
I need to know that I have done one thing right.
Okay, I don't
I
know.
didn't mind teaching it to you when you were 12.
If you want to know what the show is, how the show is different when recorded at 1:30 in the morning, Max screaming quotes from The Whale and Sam singing the Bill Nye theme song is about as different
Instead of the way.
because the Whale had already started.
Also, Mithrigan was like, I was more interested in Mithrigan, which shows how little I was interested in The Whale. Yeah, but Mithrigan does a silly dance.
Okay.
But he goes, I need to know. And he's really
None of this is gonna be out. This is all gonna be cut.
Max is just a cancel himself speedrun all the time.
Literally, he's made it 93 episodes and it hasn't happened yet.
That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
Whenever people like hire, bro, okay, if any of us ever apply for jobs for like Warner Brothers,
we're never
there is
getting hired.
no way we're getting hired.
They're gonna fire us.
They hate us so much. I mean,
No,
they don't
but-
even know we exist, but if they learned about us, they would hate us so
I don't
much.
know. I feel like the,
I'd like to go back to 2023.
Ain't no way David Zaslav is going to be a fan
the
of
thing
us.
helping us is the fact that nobody's gonna listen to all of our podcasts.
And even if they do, they won't get
So
this far
hopefully
in.
they only listen to the parts where we don't say anything negative.
Unless
about
like Kilo becomes CEO of Disney, I think we're safe.
them. Well, then if she does, we're all good.
That's true. We'd be safe because
Yeah.
she likes us.
But Matt, anyway,
Wait, talk
people think we don't
I
edit.
need to
People think we don't edit the podcast, but we have to edit out Max a lot.
We've
That's
edited him out
not
like
true.
twice.
I'm doing a bit.
All right.
Anyway,
I
back to
found that
this.
offensive.
So yeah, Bill Nye wins next.
The idea was
Bill
the idea. The general consensus was that it was either going to be Brendan Fraser or Colin Farrell.
I think Brendan Fraser because he's less more wholesome than he is.
But Austin Butler won a Golden Globe. And Elvis, it was a big popular movie with the old people who
Elvis-
won the Oscars.
Elvis is
Okay, to give him credit, he was the only reason that movie worked at all.
no, Tom Hanks was in it.
He just
Again, but Tom Hanks was a detriment.
No, Tom Hanks
You
is
didn't
never
even
a detriment.
see it.
I don't need to see it to know Tom Hanks was
but
the best
Austin
part.
Butler, the only thing
And he did the whole
Apparently.
acting.
He
did
talked
the
like
acting.
Elvis, kind of. He talked like this the
He
whole
still
movie.
talks in that voice, by the way.
He talks like this in real
He
life.
got himself stuck in the Elvis
He's
voice.
stuck in the
real
voice
life.
now. This is how I talk.
He goes, Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you, Mom.
It's like, honey, your name is Austin. No, I'm Elvis, Ma. I'm going off to war.
I like.
It's 1992.
I gotta go fight the Nazis or
I like
whatever
this-
I did.
I like
I
this.
gotta fight the Nazis.
Why is Max so loud?
I don't know.
I need
The mic is just gonna peak.
I need to know.
I like this new character of Austin Butler, who's convinced himself he's Elvis,
He's
and is
stuck as
still
Elvis.
acting in roles. Like he's auditioning for The Whale as himself. Because
I need to know that I've done one thing right with my life.
He's
gonna
doing.
kick me off the stage.
He's doing everything. He's acting in every role as if it was Elvis acting in the role.
Okay, what if he auditions for Michael Jackson as
Elvis.
himself, but as the Elvis voice?
Thriller.
That was a thriller in the night.
Anyway,
He.
Everybody now.
I think you know.
Oh,
I'm gonna give the slight edge to Brendan Fraser, but I think it should be Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't. I like Brendan Fraser more.
and
I haven't seen any
then
of the movies though.
he was in the Banshees. He was in Banshees. He was also the Penguin.
what does he look
He looks like
He
the
looks like
Penguin,
a
but
guy.
not at all.
What do you
Not even
want?
remotely close to what the Penguin is in that movie.
I'm waiting to get a score.
Yeah, he has a large
Just so you
penguin-like
know,
nose,
um,
Max.
before
He
we
has a long penguin nose. That's his. That's
For
the
those
most
of-
notable characteristic.
So, just so everyone knows, before we started recording, we were pulling this up so we could talk about it, and Max was complaining that there weren't any pictures of
Yeah.
anyone
Well,
because he makes all his decisions based on what they look
That's
like.
not true. I don't even vote, so it doesn't really matter to
Yeah,
me.
so the funny
I'm
thing
just
about
looking at the
when they put out the casting call
Because I don't know
for
who
the
it is.
Penguin in the Batman movie, they were like, must have a
Giant
enormous hooked nose,
nose.
like Gru from Despicable Me, but real.
They all have to like stand in a line, but their noses are so long.
They're
that
poking
like
each other in
2
the
feet
back.
apart, and every time they like walk forward, they go.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's go to Best Picture.
Also, Paul Mescal, the only actor from After Sun to be nominated.
He's like Paul Mascalo.
Okay, Best
He's
Picture.
like,
There's 10 noms. I've seen 6 of them.
All right.
Let's go through them. All Quiet on the Western Front.
By Mel Gurut.
You can just read the next one. You don't have to.
Avatar: The Way of Water with James Cameron and John with Jon Landau. Landau. Hey, I don't know.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
Elvis.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
The Fablemans.
Tar.
Top Gun Maverick. Triangle of Sadness. And Women Communicating.
Talking. All right.
Oh, Talking. My bad. I misread it.
Just so you know, there was a movie that came. There were 2 movies that were like big Oscar bait
No, if a
movies.
woman writes one thing down in that movie, I'm knocking it down a star.
Oh, Jerry Buckenheim.
They better just talk. If they write one thing down,
This is the worst show
I'll
we've
sue them
ever
for
done.
false advertising.
I've got to make a grocery list.
It better be called Women Communicating.
Just so you know, I find it funny that there were 2 movies that came out this year. One was called Women Talking, and the other one was called She Said. I just think that's humorous.
She said women were talking.
Yep. Anyway,
I did not
so
know Jerry Buckenheim.
I've seen Avatar, I've seen Banshees, I've seen Elvis, I've seen everything. I've seen Fablemans, I've seen Top Gun. I have not seen Women Talking, Triangle of Sadness, Tar, or All Quiet on the Western Front.
Heck, shut up. Out of these that I did see, I think Everything Everywhere is the best
Sam,
movie.
you saw
of these.
4 of these, right?
Yeah, I saw Everything Everywhere. I saw Fablemans. I saw Avatar, and I saw Top Gun.
So I think it should be Everything Everywhere.
Like, I think that one was just it did the best job of doing what it
I
wanted
think
to
in
do.
terms of like a movie of the year, I think that is the most. That is the movie that encompasses this year most and is the best.
And I think
of them.
most everyone who has seen a lot of movies this year agrees with that.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, everyone only saw Top Gun.
It
so-
was my favorite movie of the year, and then I saw Banshees, and the more I thought about Banshees, I think that one might be.
But
my
I think that's just because
favorite.
you just saw it more recently, though.
I think that could be part of it, but I also like
Puss in Boots.
the more I think about the actual movie itself, the more I like it. But I think Everything Everywhere All at Once deserves it.
I think the menu should be on here.
I
too.
think it's good for Top Gun and for Avatar that they both made it in.
I think the menu should be where Tar is, because I don't know what Tar is, and no one knows what Tar is.
That's about it. Max,
What, Max?
What,
Say whatever
Max?
bit
Say
you've been,
your dumb
say whatever
bit
word you've
so
been
we can
saying in
keep
your head for
going.
the last 5 minutes.
I'm just-
Get it out. Spit it out.
Puss in Boots, but it's like
Like it's like Antonio Banderas as a humanoid cat man, and he fights like a humanoid wolf man.
it's cats, but
So you want a live action Puss in Boots
So Max-
cats movie?
Okay,
no,
for
just imagining it.
for our audio listeners, Max leaned back in his chair, started giggling, and then crossed his fingers like he was presenting.
Like he was about to say something
like
profound.
he was about to like say a profound scientific
Picture this.
like.
Picture this. Hey, look up at this. Cats.
He looks like he just had.
Max, do you know what Antonio Banderas looks like? Then stop talking.
Well, he doesn't have the pictures, so
Oh,
how is
yeah,
he
he doesn't have the
supposed to know?
pictures.
But
don't know.
Shh, why are you
Quiet
yelling?
down.
But he leaned back like he had just discovered like Pythagorean theorem, and he just says some dumb crap about Puss in Boots.
When you said that, I thought you were going to take that in a way worse direction, but you took it in a better direction
Yeah.
where I thought you were going to
We
take
will
it.
have to. We don't have to cut that out.
It's something about Puss in Boots, but
Anyway.
the other kind.
And the movie Women Talking.
And the movie. Oh, whoa! That's not where I was thinking that was going.
Anyway.
Whoa! Now you took that in the weird
I didn't
direction.
say anything.
All right, moving on. I think that's all of the
All I'm gonna say is it was not all.
I want
Quiet on the
Everything
Western
Everywhere.
Front.
I want Everything Everywhere to win. I think that was the best movie. I recently saw some clips of it and I was like, wow, that really was just like an amazing, incredible movie that should win everything.
You know, the Fablemans could also win.
I remember there was
No, I really think Everything Everywhere is way more
I'm
memorable.
not saying it's
her
better.
haircut was awful.
Max,
Shut up.
It distracted me the whole movie.
What are you talking about?
She just had a bob, like a normal
It
haircut.
looked awful.
Max is gonna watch Citizen Kane and be like, "That's a bald guy, 0 out of 10."
Yeah, it made the whole movie awful.
Look at the camera, Max. Look at his haircut. Tell me that's not distracting. Freaking TikTok looking middle part guy. Your hair looks more
Max
like
has a haircut.
his hair looks more like that character from the Fablemans than anyone else in
It
this
really
room.
does. If you think about it,
You're like 2 inches away from the same hairstyle.
So much forehead.
Okay, moving on.
Anyway,
Well, now you're off camera.
we'll
that
talk.
didn't even fix it. All right,
We'll talk about the Oscars when they air. I will watch the whole ceremony and hate myself. And Sam,
Max, that's animated.
please stop talking. And
So it's just out there.
and Sam will see like maybe 2 of the winners on Twitter.
Yeah, probably. All right. Next thing. I don't think we need the browser open anymore.
I don't know what the next thing is. Sam, will you explain it to me like I'm an idiot?
Yes, I will. All right. So, Microsoft, little known company who has a very smart, intelligent name that I would never make fun of.
I don't know. Sam went on a giant rant about the name Microsoft for no reason.
I just thought
completely
it was funny
unprompted.
to talk about
It's
how dumb
not
their
that
name is.
funny.
All right.
What?
Why are you even here?
You were gone for an hour
Okay.
and the show was good.
So,
and then you came back and we started talking about Antonio Banderas in a cat costume.
So-
I don't know what he looks like.
So Microsoft laid off, I believe, 10,000 people. Yeah, so they laid off 10,000 people. They fired 10,000 people. And a lot of those people were from 343 and Bethesda, which was notable because those are their big. Tucker's showing him a picture of Antonio Banderas.
Now he knows what he looks like. Anyway,
All right, yeah. So they
please stop.
Max, please shush. So yeah, they made $52.7 billion this in Q2 of this year.
Which is a good amount.
So it's a lot of money.
It's
a good, some pocket change.
That's what 52 billion McDoubles.
And they cut off. They laid off 10,000 people.
$1.
And I thought this was interesting because they are still planning to buy Activision Blizzard for, I believe, like $17 billion.
Oh, has that not gone through yet?
No, it's been blocked in the UK, the EU, and it's looking like it's going to be blocked in America.
Dang. If only we would let more corporate monopolies form.
Well, that's part of why they fired 10,000 people. Probably because those were the metaverse guys.
Yeah, I think those guys come back and lean.
I muted his microphone, and that hasn't prevented him from talking.
The recording's on here anyway. Anyway, so they did that. They laid off 10,000 people. They're still buying Activision Blizzard, and they made $52.7 billion in this last quarter. So I just thought that was interesting. I thought that was a big story, and this is happening all over the tech sector. Amazon also laid off like 18,000 people. I believe Spotify laid off 3% of their entire workforce. Just a lot of tech companies are just cutting people left and right. A lot. Yes. Because it's a major multi-billion-dollar company, Max. YouTube and Google, I believe, also laid off a good chunk of people. And this is mostly all due to... bizarrely enough, they laid off a bunch of people in their AI division, which you would think they'd be cranking up now that
Maybe they got AI to run it.
Well, you'd think they'd be trying to ramp it up now that they have competition, but they just didn't.
Also, I just want to go just 1 second. Max, do you think the only thing goes into running Spotify is uploading songs once a month?
Yeah. What else?
Well, okay, so you have to build out internet infrastructure in order to have that work. You have to have servers. You have to have server maintenance. You have to
prevent it from being hacked.
You have to update the servers. You have to protect everyone's user data. You have to do a million other things.
Handle copyright issues.
Steal everyone's user data so you can sell it to people. Okay, Max. For you build me Spotify in an hour, and I'll give you $1 billion. All
right. Are you gonna do it on the notes?
He's gonna download a song and then play it. Because he thinks that's how Spotify works. You think Spotify is a glorified USB stick?
He will download it from Spotify.
It's actually just one.
All of Spotify is like one guy with a 2013 MacBook Air and like a single like quadrillion terabyte USB stick that every song in the world is downloaded to.
He keeps having to constantly download.
And his computer's like constantly on fire. He's just spraying it with a fire extinguisher all the time.
And he made the app on like.
You don't even know what that is. Anyway,
right.
Let's go.
So yeah, they laid off a bunch of people. There's still tech bad. All right, next thing.
All right. Oh yeah, more celebrities doing crimes.
Yes. So well, this one isn't entirely his fault, but there was a big controversy. This happened. Was it 1 or 2 years ago now? But on the set of Rust, Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that he believed to be loaded with blanks. It was loaded with real bullets, and he shot and killed the cinematographer. I don't have her name.
Hutchins, I think.
I don't have her name pulled up. Yeah, probably that. Yeah, not good.
So,
and he has officially been charged now, I believe,
with involuntary
manslaughter for the shooting.
Which,
yeah,
if you do not know, is when you kill someone on accident. So he has not been charged with murder.
Now, you right-click it twice and then. So notably, a lot of people on the internet, mostly Twitter, known for just being a place where brilliant minds come together. Were upset that he was not being charged with murder.
Which you can't be.
So for those
work.
of you who don't know, which I guess is more of you than I thought, murder requires intent. So you have to plan to kill them, not be handed what you believe is a prop that has been mishandled by the props and firearms manager and accidentally fire someone while doing what you were told to do. Yeah, you can't. Those are not the same thing. Manslaughter, I believe, is at least makes sense. I think you could prove negligence on part of Alec Baldwin. Maybe he didn't check the gun, but also I'm pretty sure
that's not his job.
Yeah, on set, I don't think they're allowed to do that. Actually, I don't think they're allowed to check.
No, okay. Again. So murder, so there's 3 degrees of murder, right? It's the first, second, or third.
Well,
no matter which one it is, all of them require that at some point you had complete intention to kill someone, whether it was like just in the moment or whether you had like planned it for a long time. He did neither. All he did was do something he had done probably multiple times before while filming a movie, and it went wrong, and something was not checked, and it resulted in a death. I'm sure he feels bad about it. He did not commit murder. Manslaughter is the correct charge. But also, I don't think you should be the only one held responsible here, because there were blatant safety protocols that were not followed.
Yeah. So here are some generally on set. The armory expert and the production property manager are responsible for making sure that, the props are safe to use and treated, with proper regard for their potential deadliness. This was obviously not done. It is not the actor's responsibility to check and make sure that the firearms are not loaded with real bullets.
Because also, he wouldn't know if it's a blank or a real bullet or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that. I mean, he might. I have no idea. But regardless, he's not supposed to open the gun.
No.
Because if you have the actor open the gun, they could potentially
mess with
it and, load a real bullet in it. So the rule is they don't mess with it. They're not supposed
Only
to mess with it or
qualified
open
personnel.
it. Only the armory expert and the property master are allowed to touch and handle the props before they're used on set. For this reason. This is why those rules exist. Clearly, so that's a clear lapse in
safety protocol.
In safety protocol on their part. And again, maybe they know something we don't. That's entirely possible. The trial has not happened yet, as far as I'm aware. They might have more information than we do.
He's just going to be charged.
But generally, that's how the rules work. Now,
okay, the armorer responsible also faces manslaughter charge,
which makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Now you are supposed to keep. You're supposed to refrain from pointing the firearm at yourself or anyone else while on set. In that part,
he did.
Alec Baldwin is responsible.
For that.
And if he wasn't, obviously the bullet would not have hit her. Because you got to point something at a direction for it to go in that direction.
So if a jury found Mr. Baldwin or Miss Gutierrez-Reed, who was the armorer, guilty, it would choose between the two manslaughter charges. The more serious one includes a firearm enhancement and a mandatory 5-year sentence. I don't know what a firearm enhancement.
I think that's when you modify a weapon.
Okay.
I don't really know why that would.
The other charge carries a sentence of up to 18 months. The criminal charges against Mr. Baldwin are open to reopen questions of safety. So
I have a list of rules here that are published in the industry-wide labor management safety, or published by the industry-wide labor management safety committee for, I think this is like Warner Brothers or something. But the advice includes blanks can kill, treat all firearms as if they are loaded. I think you could prove negligence there.
In the past.
Refrain from pointing it at yourself or anyone else. I think you could prove that there's negligence there. Never place your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. He was supposed to shoot it. It's part of the scene.
Yeah.
I don't think that one holds up. Anyone involved in using a firearm must be thoroughly briefed at an on-set safety meeting. I don't know if that happened. I wasn't there. So I don't think
there have been reports and there have been lawsuits that people who were supposed to be in charge of safety protocols were being fired and not everything was being checked and they were cutting a lot of corners. So I think we'll find out whether or not any of that is actually true.
Yeah, we don't know about that for sure because we weren't there, but I'm sure that's the kind of stuff that will have to be investigated in court.
Yeah.
Next up is only a qualified person should load a firearm. That's what I was talking about, where only the props master and the armory expert can actually mess with what's in the gun. So Alec Baldwin, you can't. That would be on the armorer's fault. That's where they would be guilty. Protective shields, eye, ear protection should be used by anyone in close proximity or the line of fire. I think in that case, and again, I'm not trying to blame the victim, but I think that would be negligence there. I think there should have, if you're going to have someone standing next to a camera that a gun is being pointed at, probably have something to stand behind. I don't know if that's
a lot of these.
I don't know what was going on.
We don't know.
That would have to be done in court. Any actor who is required to stand near the line of fire should be allowed to witness the loading of the firearms. That I don't know if that happened, but that would have been important to do in this case. So yeah, again, that's something that would have to be investigated in court. But those are some rules. So those are some rules that are from their labor management guide that are points of contention in this case specifically because almost all of them apply specifically to this case.
All right.
And I think that pretty much sums up our the coverage of that.
On that.
So,
all right. So to wrap
Tucker,
up,
tell me about the Nielsen most streamed movies and TV. Should I pull this up? Is this something I pull up?
We're good. But that was our news of the week. So let us know your thoughts on any of those stories below in the comments.
You think Alec Baldwin is guilty of murder?
If you do, you're wrong.
But let us
know. Two of our news this week were legal cases that are currently pending. So that's fun.
Hollywood's a real cool place.
So we don't really have anything to talk about or review this week.
I'm going to pull them
mostly because we don't have the time. But
we got time.
Quickly, to go to news, I just thought I'd talk about
top
Nielsen.
10. Oh, okay. It's their top 10. We can go over the top 10. That's not that long.
That's
the right
this
thing?
weekend, I think. Well,
overall.
I have it. It's fine. We're good.
No, this is
from January 26th to January 20.
What? No way.
Okay, we don't have time to do this right now.
No, what? No way. Okay, seriously, Emily in Paris? What? Who's watching? Okay, this makes sense. Okay, who's watching? Which one of you's watching Witcher Blood Origin? That's the one I was telling you about that wasn't even related to The Witcher that they just like rebranded. Which one of you's watching that? Don't do that. Where's Velma on here also?
It didn't come out yet. It's from December.
It's December to January. Oh, January 1st. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Nielsen's like a month behind on all of their ratings.
Well, that's how data accumulation
Anyway,
works. All right, tell us the thing.
So they released...
Or send it to me so I can put it on the
No, I
screen.
got it. It's just a list. I don't have.
But I want to put it up there so they can see it.
I will read it to you. Max, please.
All right,
whining.
go. Say your words.
So, the Nielsen released their top 15 most streamed movies. Their top 10 most streamed shows by watch minutes total in the year of 2022. I will read them out to you now, and if we have thoughts, we will say them. That's how this works. It's a podcast. Number 15 was Uncharted.
That seems wrong, but okay.
A movie that came out in 2018. Frozen 2.
Weird.
At 14, 13, Eternals.
Weirder.
12 is Coco. 11 Zootopia.
Okay.
10, The Gray Man on Netflix. 9 is Luca. 8 is Frozen 1. 7 is Don't Look Up from Netflix. 6 was Hocus Pocus 2. 5 was The Adam Project. 4 was Moana. 3 was Sing 2. 2 was Turning Red. And 1 was Encanto.
Wow, did like no movies come out this year?
I'm
Why
not
was
shocked.
everything streamed like 3 years old?
I'm not shocked by 1 through 3. Encanto, Turning Red, and Sing 2.
Encanto blew up on TikTok.
Encanto was huge. Well, Encanto, Turning Red, and Sing 2 were all huge on their streaming providers the whole year. Adam Project was the biggest Netflix film.
Was it ever? Or did, like,
I think so, ever. Disney Plus, people tend to watch like the same 8
the same
movies
like 5
over and over
things.
again is like babysitting, which is why Moana, Frozen, Luca, Zootopia.
Those are just like their
Coco,
most recent movies.
because people just watch.
Yeah,
them.
they just be like babysitting. Go.
Eternals is the most watched Marvel movie, which is interesting. Because
But it's by watch minutes, right?
I think so.
Eternals is just like really long.
I think that's a factor, but I also think that was the least amount of people saw in the theater.
Yeah, that too.
And so a lot of people waited to go watch that on streaming.
So out of all the Marvel movies that came out, it was the longest and it was the least viewed in theaters.
Yeah.
I think that combination makes perfect sense.
And then Uncharted at 15.
That's just weird.
It was on Netflix like about most of the year,
I feel like that's another case of people didn't want to see it in theaters but still wanted to check it out. Like they were
so they would
curious
watch
about
it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Also, watch minutes means
Minutes watched.
they didn't finish the whole thing.
Yeah, they just watched
watched
that many minutes.
of it, and then some of them.
So that might have been like a million people watching 10 minutes of it. You know, that doesn't mean that they all watched the whole thing.
Yeah, Max. Maybe
Sure, Max. Yeah, why?
one
Yeah, maybe.
eighth of the worldwide population has accidentally clicked on the movie Uncharted.
Max, I don't think a billion people even own
No,
Netflix.
they don't.
Yeah.
No, they
Let me
don't.
let me spawn a billion people.
Max, I can tell
Like,
you
what?
right now, they do not.
Okay.
Um,
Next.
Yes.
Anyway.
Do.
What are you doing?
What's the next one?
Other interesting things I think to see here. One, Disney Plus has most of these, which I think is interesting.
But also, most of them are like kids programming.
Well,
primarily.
if you look at it, and we'll get to shows in a second, but Netflix leads the pack 100% with shows that people are watching on streaming.
Yeah, because that's where the adults are going
But
to
Disney
watch shows.
Plus leads a lot of the stuff in the movies people are watching, even with like not quite kiddie stuff like Hocus Pocus 2 or Eternals, which I think is interesting.
But I feel like Hocus Pocus 2 was just because like Halloween happened.
Also, Hocus Pocus 2, number 6, most watched movie of the year. It came out 2 months ago. That should have been in theaters.
It should have been in theaters, and it was
That's
like a big
lost box
Halloween
office
thing. It was like
dollars.
the only big Halloween movie that came out.
That's okay. Yeah. So
Like
I
there were
think
some
that's-
horror movies that came out, but that was the only like Halloween. Well, there was Halloween Ends, but
I
that
just
doesn't
think
count.
that's interesting what people are watching.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll get to most viewed shows. These I actually have the
Things for
numbers for.
Sweet.
So the key thing with shows is that it's not, if it had a new season this year,
It didn't count.
it is counting, but it's also counting like people who watched the previous season.
Oh, so it's like adding to it.
If people went back, so for Stranger Things, the new season came
Oh, so
out
it's
this year.
the total
Obviously
minutes
big,
for this year.
But if people went back and watched seasons 1 through 3, that's also
So
counting.
it's just counting the whole show minutes
Yeah.
watched. Okay, that makes sense.
So heads up, there's 15.
Heads up.
12
What
of
is that?
them are from Netflix. Oh, wait, no. 11 of them are from Netflix. 3 are from Disney+.
Oh, this is where we were watching that Amish, the Amish trailer.
Okay, you're supposed to ignore this. You're not. We gotta
Max,
move.
shut up.
Please stop.
Okay, go say say
Okay.
things.
The Simpsons was number 15.
That's
Oh wait, this is streaming programs.
yeah, that's the
So
same
there's
thing.
one movie in here, which is
Okay, sure.
technically
Who
14
cares?
shows.
Keep going.
The Simpsons was number 15.
Makes sense.
On Disney Plus was 667 episodes available to stream.
That makes sense. Yeah.
15.9 billion minutes viewed.
Okay, we don't need the whole stats.
Cobra
Just-
Kai
yeah.
was number 14, obviously on Netflix.
I could
50
believe that,
episodes,
yeah.
16.7 billion minutes.
Okay, just say the minutes. We don't need to know how many episodes.
Heartland on Netflix, 18 billion minutes.
I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is.
225 available episodes
What
to
is
stream.
what is that?
It's probably like a reality show. It is a drama.
It's a what?
It is a drama series from the CW.
Oh, wait, is it the one where the witches fight like
no,
the
it's
government?
about a horse girl.
Okay, never mind. I don't care. All right, next.
It's a Canadian show. It's one of those drama that's been airing for 20 years.
Oh, it's like a yeah. Okay.
Okay. Wednesday, number 12, 8 episodes, 18.6 billion minutes viewed.
I'm very surprised that that's not higher.
To be fair,
Wednesday.
it was out for like a month.
That's true. It wasn't out for very long.
So to be number 12 for the whole year within about a month and a half,
Pretty good.
pretty good with 8 episodes available.
Yeah.
So
So people watch those episodes a lot.
Cobra Kai had 2 seasons drop last year for 20 episodes, and Wednesday was still watched more.
Well, that makes sense.
They did 4 and 5,
Yes. Yeah, 4 and 5.
which I finally watched season 5, by the way.
Oh, I don't actually. I think I didn't finish like 2 episodes.
Over the
of it.
shark. Anyway, Supernatural, number 11 with 18.8.
Yeah, that's
billion
that's one of those
minutes viewed.
shows that like a lot of
That's
people
just
binge.
one of the ones where people are just there's so many episodes they're just constantly watching it.
No, it's like a bunch of like white girls who like get bored and then
Yeah,
like, watch
and
like 15
It
episodes
takes
while they're doing their
95
homework.
years to get through, so they might as well start now.
Yeah. Thanks, Max. All right, next.
Seinfeld, number 10.
Makes sense.
19.3 billion minutes viewed. Definitely, maybe worth that $500 million they paid for it for Netflix.
Perhaps.
Gilmore Girls, number 9, 20.8
That's
billion
weird.
minutes. So more people are watching Gilmore Girls than Seinfeld. So
That's hard to believe.
that should play into their
I feel,
financial.
I feel like Seinfeld appeals to a larger audience. Anyway, continue.
Bluey on Disney Plus, 21.1 billion minutes viewed.
That makes
The
lot
ultimate
of sense.
babysitting tool.
It's the
used by
ultimate
people
babysitting
internationally.
tool, and for some reason, it blew up on TikTok, and like 1 billion adults watched it for some reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the show for actual toddlers.
You know why it was created?
For toddlers?
It was the Australian response to Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I can see that.
They thought that they like should create a program that was like for that demographic that would also like draw in interest in Australia. And so they did, and that's what that is. So guys, if you're watching Bluey, it exists because of Peppa Pig.
Oh, Daddy, it's me, Bluey. I'm really loud and obnoxious. Blah, 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 blah. And the dad goes, oh, Bluey, I've got to play along with you.
Max? Did you watch Bluey?
Game.
Yeah, that's something. Anyway, Criminal Minds, number 7. It's technically available on various streamers, but
Yeah, that's another one of those things.
but
people just
mostly
watch a lot.
Netflix. 24.9 billion minutes viewed. Number 6. These are the 2 perennial teenage girl binge watches, by the
Yeah.
way. Number 6 and number 7, because number 6 is Grey's Anatomy on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
26.8 billion minutes viewed. Oh my gosh. Are these shows meant for old people being watched by so many teenagers? It's kind of amazing.
Blues Anatomy.
That where Bluey runs a hospital.
What would be a more interesting show? Blues Anatomy, where Bluey runs a hospital, or Hill Street Blues Clues, where Blues Clues is a police detective?
I would watch 100 episodes of Hill Street Blues Clues.
Yeah, me too.
That's the bloody murder knife.
Why are you holding a knife?
Homicide.
He's urinating on the crime scene. Did you see that got like a movie?
You just got stabbed. You just got stabbed.
Wonder who it's from. That's why we're here.
Like some guy says that like to a crime scene. He sings that song
And then, like, we're the
to the
detectives.
dead body. Like,
All right, number 5, our only movie on the list, Encanto, with
a billion million
on
hours.
Disney Plus, 27.4 billion minutes viewed of the movie Encanto.
Yeah, that makes sense. This movie absolutely exploded.
Which is about the length of 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
I guarantee you that like a lot of the people that were watching were just going back to the songs to play the song over and over again
For their kid and just rewinding and rewinding
Yeah.
and rewinding. Number 4 was Ozark on Netflix, which aired its final season this year.
Makes
31.3
sense.
billion minutes viewed. Coco Melon, the real ultimate babysitter, at number 3 on Netflix, 37.8 billion minutes viewed.
Yeah, that one makes a lot of
This show's
sense.
alright.
And
I
then-
watch it sometimes.
It's my comfort show.
It's Max's comfort show.
When he goes,
When the melon goes boing, boing, boing across the screen for like 5 hours.
I just did it like this.
I love that show.
So, and then the perennial procedural NCIS on Netflix, 350.
Whoa. Hang on.
356 available episodes, 38.1 billion minutes viewed.
Who's going back to watch NCIS episodes?
Sam. Old people.
No. But like, okay,
Old people.
on cable, I get it. Because like a random episode just comes on. Who's following the story of NCIS?
Old people.
Okay,
It's not a criticism. They can like what they like. I have no problem with them watching NCIS, but you're asking who is watching it, and it's only people under 50.
no,
I'm
but
over 50.
I'm talking about like which one of those people is like actually following, like why. I was under the impression each each episode was like its own self-contained mystery.
They are.
So then why would you binge watch the show in order?
No, the characters are.
Like, the characters have interpersonal, like, drama.
But like what's the point in like watching them in
Like,
order?
Becky has broken up with Danny, and now he's dating Denise. Like, that's the ongoing storylines.
Like,
The actual, like, Jimmy's been murdered. That's just, like, that's new every episode.
Like, week
or,
to week
my
drama.
daughter got addicted,
Yeah.
so-
We gotta find her drug
and I
dealer.
broke up with my husband. Actually, love with.
Yeah.
Now I'm marrying.
Those
my
are the
boss.
storylines that carry on for 356. All right.
Okay, Max, cool.
No one would ever know because they're the same.
I watched
And then the number 1 most watched streaming program by far, Stranger Things on Netflix. 34 available episodes, 52 billion minutes viewed. That's like 12 more than the second closest one. I know it's 14,
Eddie.
by the way. Max misses Eddie.
What was that song?
14.
What was that
I
song
know
that they made where like about Eddie?
What?
Do you know what was the song? What was the song, Max? You know the song. It was on TikTok. How did it go? It was like, okay, someone like actually genuinely
I
made
know.
like
I know.
like a memorial song for this guy as if he was like actually a living person who died. Max is pulling it up. Max is getting the facts and figures ready.
Anyway. So, that's interesting.
This
Is this gonna get coffee shop?
no, it's like someone made it up on TikTok. This is real. Someone like actually.
This should be our new theme song.
And they made a whole, like, it's a whole song.
Should I put that over the intro music today? And
Yeah.
people have to listen this far to know.
They'll be
why.
like, why is it this?
Remember Eddie died and passed away. And people were like, guys,
One of them-
One's a
one of
real
them's
guy.
a real human person.
One of
who
them's
had, like, a
actually
wife
dead.
and a father and a
Eddie,
mother
the
and
guy who
friends.
plays Eddie, will be in other things.
Anyway,
Or I guess you could say he'll be in Stranger Things.
I was gonna make a point, but I can't now.
All right, what's the next thing?
I don't know. What do you have to talk about?
We do have one more news thing.
What?
He's doing the whale again.
Not mad. That's gonna be. I want to fight every single time he does that.
You should just make the intro like song just a mash of all the recurring bits from the episode.
No, that would take way too long to edit.
You just have to find the audio and clip it and move it to the front.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Yeah. So Neil Druckmann says that they are done with Uncharted as a story. They're not gonna make an Uncharted 5.
Makes sense.
They don't want to continue that story. They want to leave it where it is. They feel like they've left it off on a good place.
And if you've played Uncharted 4, you would be cool with that.
I played it.
What I think is unfortunate about these kind of announcements is
Brother came back.
Max, please stop.
Oh, his brother came back. And I was like,
Okay, cool, Max. What is unfortunate about these kind of announcements is if you're a fan of that gameplay style, it's really hard to find like similar stuff that matches the vibe of those kind of games.
Uncharted that's good that ended. It had a good ending. They weren't really going to escalate the gameplay any further.
Yeah, I don't see them making a lot of like changes
also,
to
if you're looking for third-person shooters, Uncharted, the gameplay, really just Gears of War. The good thing about Uncharted is the pacing and the set pieces and the story.
Yeah, what makes Uncharted fun is the
puzzles.
the big set pieces
and the character dynamics.
It's one of the few first-person shooter, like single player third-person shooters where like the story is like not awful. It's like good.
Yeah, it's pretty good in the first 3, and then 4, it's really, really good. If you haven't played Uncharted 4, you definitely should. You should play all of them, but if you will probably be a little lost for Uncharted 4, but if you just play that one, you'll see why it's
this
so good.
And The Last of Us are probably the only 2 third-person shooters. Maybe Tomb Raider, maybe.
And then The Last of Us, not doing a part 3.
Well, yeah, that brings us to our next one.
That one makes a little less sense.
So they said they haven't decided yet. This is just Neil Druckmann speculating or like going, talking on his Twitter or whatever.
Also, it's not up to him.
It's not.
If Sony wants to make Uncharted 5, they'll make Uncharted 5 whether or not he likes it.
He says they're not making Uncharted 5.
Naughty Dog
no
won't.
making...
Sony owns the IP. If Sony wants to make Uncharted 5, they'll burst in through a door, find someone to make Uncharted 5.
I think he's saying right now the plan is to not make any more.
Yeah.
That could change in the future. Anything could change in the future.
There's no way that they can stop making God of War, Last of Us.
So the thing about ideas is you can have new ideas, but you can do that. That's not my point. So yeah, they might not make a Last of Us 3, which was Neil Druckmann's other announcement. I could maybe see that happening after the critical reception to the second one, but it sold pretty well.
It sold great,
and it wasn't critically panned in the same way most.
No, it was critically very well received. It was people on Reddit who did not like it.
Well, it was it was split exactly down the middle. If you go onto any review site, it's almost half 5 stars and half 1 stars. There are very few 2 to 4 star reviews. Almost none.
10 out of 10 IGN, 8.6 IMDb, 93% on Metacritic.
But if you go on
it does have a little something for everyone.
Really makes you feel
like you're surviving in a zombie apocalypse.
7, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, see, it's either 10s or
95,
zeros.
97, 65. There's the one guy who thinks it's mediocre.
One guy thinks it's mid.
He's been killed.
Shut up!
They killed him. Both sides hated him.
User reviews is where it gets bad. That user reviews, the average score is a 5.8. There's 84,000 positive reviews, 98,000 negative reviews, and 8,000 mixed reviews.
Yeah, so like I said, it's almost all very good or very bad.
A lot of people, most of it is people hate the story. And I can see why. That story is so also today,
I feel
real quick, Last of Us was picked up for a second season on HBO, and that'll be the second game. The second season. That story is so much more better suited
for a TV show
than it ever was for a video game.
Because when you're playing a video game and you spend all this time controlling and being a certain character, to have your ability to care forcibly change to someone else, that can be very jarring.
Well,
for someone who's playing this character.
The other thing is Last of Us Part 2 is about violence and the cycle of violence and how horrible violence is and how negative it is.
And to be fair, I don't think they do a bad job of demonstrating
the
that.
problem is that the only part of The Last of Us that is even a remotely interesting game is the part where you brutally murder people. So if the whole game is about how brutally murdering people is bad, but the only thing to do in the game is to brutally murder people or you lose,
it's a bit
there's
of a
little
mixed message.
bit of a disconnect.
So
It's like if you.
but now if it's a movie,
Racing is bad.
You can't race anymore. Racing is off. Every time you drive the car, it kills 50
Also, you
people.
gotta race the car to go play the
Go
game.
race the car.
but like for a TV show, I think that message
Yeah,
is
it
much
works.
like okay, for example, and this is kind of a weird example to bring up, but Attack on Titan kind of does the same thing where they force your perspective to change. The first part of the 4th season forces it's all about the other side. It's a whole new set of characters, it's a whole new set of people, it's a whole new set of context, and you're forced to learn to empathize with the other side. And if you look at reviews for Attack on Titan, I'd be willing to bet they're almost all like 10 out of 10s, hundreds across the board. Because that is a medium in which you aren't forced to do the thing that it's condemning.
Yeah, and the message is better conveyed when you get to look at it as an outsider and see the slow de-escalation into violence and like compare both sides from the perspective it's showing you, other than it forcing you to pretty much just wander around,
It's forcing
mash triangle and then kill people
It's
occasionally.
forcing you to do something and then blaming you for doing it.
Yeah.
Which, from an audience perspective, you don't feel good about that. You're like, well, you made me do that.
Yeah, because you don't give me any other option, and this is the only part that's even remotely a video game. The only other part is walking slowly through environments.
It would be like if Undertale forced you to do the genocide route and then still made you feel bad about it.
Well,
like you had to do that.
It forced you to do the genocide route, and there's nothing else to do except for the combat.
Yeah.
It's just a repeated series of combat encounters where they make you kill everyone and constantly tell you that.
And then
killing them is
at the
bad.
end of the game, they're like, "Wow, you're a crappy person, huh?"
Oh, Kirby, you gotta stop eating monsters and stuff.
But
Also, Kirby, we took away the platforming. Now you just hold down B and eat people.
like
Also, you have
the
to
story of The Last of Us 2, I think is actually very good. I think it's one of the better stories in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the way that they forced you to experience it was very
don't
jarring
think
and not well done.
It was well suited for gaming. I think
Yes.
it was a good story, not well implemented into the video
Which
game
is
format.
why The Last of Us TV show is actually very good. But we will talk more about that when
At
it
some other
finishes
point
up.
in 4
When it
months.
wraps
I
up.
didn't watch.
Did you watch the
Anyway.
new Bad Batch episode?
No, I did not.
Bad.
I forgot that was airing.
So I just is just a quick aside. Bad Batch has been going on. We haven't talked about it a whole lot because I think we're gonna do like a series recap once it also
Probably
finishes
it's
airing.
Bad Batch. Not a lot happens.
But the second episode is really, really cool because a certain character comes back. I know that's glup crap or whatever, but a certain character comes back and it's actually very interesting the way that they handle him.
Oh, you
And
mean the
I don't want to
third
give away
one? The third one with
the second episode with character from Clone Wars.
yeah, that's the third one.
That's the third one. Okay. The third episode brings back a very interesting character in a way that we haven't gotten to see him yet.
They
in
do
the Star Wars
something pretty
universe.
interesting with
And they
him.
do something really cool with him.
Then I didn't watch 4.
And
I
then
don't know
the
why.
most recent episode, not episode 4 sucked. Episode 4 it was literally a pod racing, not even like a knockoff pod racing filler episode. Fourth episode is boring, skip it. But the fifth episode is really cool.
Okay.
The fifth episode, they like find this giant ancient Zepho mech weapon on this totally abandoned, like destroyed planet, and they have to they accidentally activate it and they have to stop it.
Sounds neat.
But it adds a lot of mystique to the Star Wars lore, and I love it when Clone Wars does that. Like they did that with Mortis, where they like introduce this thing, and you're like, holy crap, this is like changes how I see the Force. It's like one of those things where it like changes how you see Star Wars, history or whatever.
Let's see, Entombed. That's the lowest rated episode.
Well, I think from
And then the pod racing one is the second. And then the highest rated one is the third episode.
okay.
This is on IMDb.
The fifth episode is not narratively interesting whatsoever. It's basically like Indiana Jones. It's basically just the last what's the video game? The Star Wars one, Max, with Cal Kestis.
Skywalker.
Fallen Order.
It's basically just Fallen Order if that was like a show. Like they go
Okay.
through the thing and they solve the puzzles. Like it's not interesting to watch. But from a lore perspective, like just the Star Wars, like if you're interested in the Star Wars mythos, it's very interesting. If you're not, that episode's going to bore you to tears.
Yeah,
Omega is the one who initiates the whole quest, so I'm sure you'll love that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick.
Okay. Well, pending any more.
What if we do something that has nothing to do with the story?
Pending any more Max weird Brendan Fraser impersonations.
I need to know that I've done one thing right with my life.
That will be the end of this week's show. Thank you as always for watching and listening to the podcast. You can find us on youtube.com/McDonCast or everywhere else you get your audio podcasts if you want to
Whenever
listen to
we eventually upload them.
it that way.
And I'll be live on Twitch. I recently changed my streaming schedule. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm going to be streaming in the afternoon. So look out for that instead of at night because I got to sleep for my classes the next day, so I had to change
There
it.
goes the pickle.
Is that your new catchphrase?
Please stop.
What was your old one?
No, we gotta.
No, what was this? It's gaming time or something? Was that it?
It was its gaming time for a really long time.
Well, now it's this thing. Say it again.
We're at Twitter at McDon Media and Instagram at the McDonCast.
Actually, it has extra context because the pickle Rick is out. It's a new Rick now, different Rick.
we also have a clips channel, McDonCast clips.
I
clips of the show
uploaded
there.
a bunch of clips. I didn't upload any clips from the last episode because the audio was really bad and I didn't want to subject people to that.
Don't watch that one.
But this episode will be clipped. So
Okay.
be there for that.
Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
There goes the pickle.